This episode is brought to you by Control N Consulting, where innovation meets expertise. We specialize in a range of services, including analysis and planning, custom software development, project management, as well as training and support. Our team is dedicated to ensuring the highest standards in quality assurance and testing. Choose Control N Consulting as your go-to partner for digital transformation and experience solutions tailored to propel your business forward.
Welcome to it. My name is Simo. Today I'm with my co-host,
Fami in the building.
And we have special guest today, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Mr. Editor-in-Chief for two, not just one, for two of South Africa's biggest hip-hop publications. A man with credits from Mail and Guardian to New Frame. If you don't know what New Frame is, you should check it out. Sabs, welcome, bro.
Thank you so much. And thank you for calling me a GOAT. I don't take that lightly. I'm not sure if I agree, but I understand why you would say that. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Let's stick on the GOAT part of it.
Yeah.
Since Bush Radio days, which one came first? Was it Live Mag or Bush Radio?
Interesting question. Those almost happened at the same time, but Live Mag slightly first.
And which year was this?
Bush Radio. What year was this? So this was around 2012, 13. I would say 2013, yeah.
2013?
Yeah.
And you've been moving up since?
Yeah. I mean, even before that was like, the story started on campus.
Yeah.
I was at UCT studying electrical engineering. Amen to that. And I was just like, always, we had like the Cypher, arts block Cypher. It was quite big.
But hold on. Sorry. This is not what happened then. This is me proving why I say
I'm the GOAT. Oh,
yes.
Hey, yeah, I was just trying to tell the story. Oh, yeah. So, yes. Okay, let's not even go to the Cypher thing. But before that, there was a website called Bullet Online Inc. that was started by my friend. So that's where I really started.
This is 2000.
This is obviously, so I was still in varsity. So this is like 11, 12. And then there was another website. It was called Checker Digital. So those two came before everything else. Yeah. Then we can go Live Mag and then Bush Radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, what happened after that? Just give me the
timeline.
The timeline.
So Live Mag for a while, even after Bush Radio.
And then
there was like OK Africa. So there was like the freelance stage OK Africa, and then there was the full-time OK Africa.
That's Mail and Guardian.
Mail and Guardian again, freelance around the same time as OK Africa.
You see where we're going?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that about almost every writer who's been writing for this many years.
And the important thing is that you're leveling up every step of the way. You're leveling up big time. I feel like an escalator doesn't do justice. You're like, what's Elon Musk thing? The rocket.
We're going to SpaceX. Oh yeah. What are those things called? Yeah,
SpaceX. That's where you are.
SpaceX.
Anyway,
you guys go rockets, whatever.
Anyway, that was
So OK Africa. Okay, let's go through the timeline. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So then OK Africa. What happened after OK Africa? Yeah. Then OK Africa, and then look, I want to tell you that there's a lot that was happening in between. There was the Fader, again freelance. There was Bandcamp Daily. There was Mahala, there was African Hip Hop Blog, very, very important, like especially during the Headwarmers days, they were very, very progressive. And then there was, so after OK Africa, then there was Hype, and then after Hype, then there was Slikour Online, and that's just like the publication space.
And then there was TV.
Yeah, so TV, there was Your MTV Raps. Your MTV Raps South Africa, I need to add, because Your MTV Raps is like Your MTV Raps South Africa. And then there was a show on SABC this show is called what, Blow Up or Cave. Look, I ended up getting fired on that show, so I'm not sure if my credits are on there, but that happened. And there was also a South African Hip Hop Museum. Yeah. That. And then TV, what else? Then there was a show called Freedom? No, I almost said Freedom of Frame because of Black Les. It was called Pop Goes Freedom. Exactly. Yeah, you see? You know your shit. Pop Goes Freedom. And then the latest one, I'm not sure when this is going to go out, but it's currently airing on Channel O Mzansi Magic. That's MTN Pulse Virals, which I'm doing through Slikour Online where I currently work. Yeah. So some of the stuff I know for sure there's some stuff I left out.
Yeah. Deeds, can you maybe remind me to every time you mention something, just put a goat image, emoji like goat, fill up the whole screen. That
Hey, man.
Also, can we just say, like, working at Slikour Online as editor-in-chief?
Yeah. Look, I like the term head of content. Just makes more sense. Editor-in-chief, it just feels like one of those old publications. I think very progressive, very publication. Head of content makes more sense because I think I do more than what an editor-in-chief traditionally does. So yeah, head of content
Sure.
works. I should change the email signature.
That's the official place.
See, with all that mentioned, Sub's biography is art and culture writer, editor, researcher, videographer/photographer with a specific interest in African music. That's it.
What do you want me to say? To list all that?
That's it.
I mean, I get it. It's like all of this is.
So it is, man. It's just really, I would just say, just content. I think content creator actually makes more sense, because also, I'm a head of content and editor-in-chief. A lot of those people are not like on the ground anymore. Also, they're not like touching stuff. Like me, I touch everything, Yes, especially at Slikour Online, we have editors and all that, but there's just some stuff I'm like, I want to do this on my own on Adobe, and then I will give it to the person who's hired as the editor to, But a lot of the stuff I am very hands-on.
Isn't that some form of control freak vibes?
Oh wow! No. So I'll give you the situation. So the way we work, I have to look at the stuff and use time codes to be like, remove that or do this, do that, and that, and then you send it to the editor, and they cut it like 1 millisecond early or late. It happens. I'm sure you guys understand this. Where I'm just like, just bring it here. Let me do it, and then I'll give it to you, to make it nicer. I wouldn't say it's not a control thing, because even when we do it, they usually understand that it's just not getting there. Maybe I would say it's because I'm a bad communicator. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, maybe I'm just saying maybe I'm not telling the guy the exact thing.
So when you pass the time codes, do you give them the exact thing to the second, to the millisecond?
No. So again, in my head, I'm like, you should get what we're trying, obviously don't cut a person's word in half, but sometimes I'm like, I want you to cut the person's word in half, which I can't always, So bad communicator, because I don't even do the millisecond thing.
No, he's trying to diminish the code.
No, guys. This is still part of the process. It's still part of the process. It's process.
Yeah, it's something to hold on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's just quickly take it back. We'll get on the Slikour part of your journey. So you start off in university, electrical engineering. Right. And then how does one become like the greatest writer of culture?
Yeah. So let's just take it back even before varsity. So my father's from KZN, mother's from Swaziland, but my father settled in Swaziland, so I was born and bred there. But I just really didn't want to necessarily stay in a country. yeah, I mean, growing up, you're reading South African magazines, you're watching South African TV, listening to South African radio, and really, as somebody who likes music and culture, I was like, I want to be there. So when it came to time for varsity, really all I did with my life was just, observe culture. I was really just one of those guys, just super, super obsessed with music, So when it came to time for varsity, and I was like, I want to do media. Because growing up, I thought I would be on radio. I was like, this guy's just play music and talk crap all day. I could do that. But I was like, you get into magazines, you're like, oh, it gets more interesting. So I was just like, I want to do media. And, they looked at my results. My family, they were like, nah, bro, you can't pass maths and physics like this and just want to do media, Comes from a good place. Sometimes it can save you, but sometimes it can also rob you of a me, So I was just like, whatever is gonna get me to Wits or UCT or UKZN or whatever. So my family were kind of like not super, super keen to support this media thing. So I was like, then electrical engineering it is, which is how I got to UCT. But even while I was there, a lot of my friends were doing BA, because, you can't necessarily be dissecting Jay-Z and Nas discographies with engineers the whole time. There's that one guy or two, but the BA niggas, you're like, yo, bro, Reasonable Doubt, you're like, and then those people become your friends. And then, but at varsity, we had this thing called UCT Hip Hop Club. Again, first year, all week you're looking at what you're going to join. I was like, what? Hip Hop Club? Sign me the fuck up. Like, I signed up for that. I signed up for yoga. I never attended the yoga thing even once. But the Hip Hop Club shit, I was there all the time. So again, you build this whole community of people.
Just what made you sign up for yoga?
I think the guy who was one of those people called, I don't even know if they have names, but I think he sold it very well. I think he sold it well, Also, I thought I was like very deep when I was younger, in touch with your soul, whatever.
Yeah.
New age bullcrap.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I realized that I'm not that guy. So yeah, Hip Hop Club, and again, you're building a community of people. There's mixtapes, there's ciphers, there's everything. And I'm like, this is the shit. I used to read Hype and, I used to hear Cape Town hip hop scene. I'm like, now I'm with it, And obviously that thing, it takes you out because now you're having all these events and you're like, what? I saw Ratex. I heard this nigga on Hype sessions. Now I saw that nigga perform. So it's like, now we also rapping. We're doing everything. We're going out to events. It's like, bro.
You rapped?
I did. Yeah. Oh, please. No. I cannot rap anymore, guys. There's nothing.
What does that even mean?
What do you mean?
I can't anymore. It's like I can't eat anymore.
No, it's not like that. It's like it's a thing that you practice. Rap, you practice. Yeah, we have to write first before we can practice. Please, guys, please.
Process.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're doing everything, bro. There were beat makers, rappers, and dancers. It was just like a whole community. And yeah, so you get to go out. Now you're like, now I'm in Kailicha and we're at a park jam. And I'm like, yo, Jiman Ska, Planet Earth. Everybody's here. It's wild. And, I was just like, I got lost in that sauce, bro. A friend of mine, we used to go to events together. He failed because we were just like out at events. And, even me, I can't claim that my schoolwork didn't suffer. Because, also engineering is very, very tough. Like, I remember when we were doing all week, they were showing us the gym is theirs, but they told us that, but you guys are not going to sit here because there's no time. Yeah, some of your labs, they overlap over lunch, and you start a lab, it's like 3 hours, crazy. But I'd be like, nah, I want to go see Kuli Chana perform come rain, come shine, that's very important to me. So my work did suffer, and you know, as much as I would say I'm a dropout, I got excluded, but really it's because I'd lost interest. I remember I did the most irresponsible thing. I walked out of an exam. Like, who does that?
Yes.
There's an exam. Oh no, I was just like, I didn't study much for this thing, and I've written everything that I know. I'm not gonna sit here because also I don't care much for this shit. I didn't even have a plan B. It was fucking ridiculous.
So you just stood up and then...
Yeah, like, but Tiwani, you can't leave in the first, 30 minutes of the paper. And then after the first 30 minutes, I was like, I'm done.
Was it like one of those big venues, like, what's it?
Yeah, and what's crazy is I wasn't even seeing anybody. I was just living in this world, just rap songs playing in my head, all that shit. Bruh, it was really, really, really irresponsible. But I think if you really love something, and I don't know, maybe it's a star sign thing. Somebody be like, yeah, Virgos are like that. But for me, in general, I struggle doing something that I don't enjoy. I really, really do. Where it was like, you know, engineering was very, very tough. And because I didn't like it much, I wasn't even putting that much effort. But I was like, the shit that I like, I want to do it all the time. So that's how I ended up, you know, not finishing. Yeah, because also I was just looking, I was like, yo, I'm close to finishing. If I finish, I'm going to have to be a practicing engineer, because imagine you have your engineering degree and you're like, oh, no, I just want to hustle. And nobody would allow that. Even I wouldn't allow myself with that, you know, because, so yeah, again, I think it was just the idea of being like, I don't want a safety net. I want to do the shit. But it was a thing of like, yo, if maybe it gets hot out there, I can always come back and finish. You know, so it was like, but for me, it was like, I will hate myself for life if I don't try this thing, you know, just play it safe. I was a bit too young to be playing it safe. So, so I chose that route.
Can I just, on a very hopefully quick tangent, because I think there were so many things that you said that kind of made me think of like a train of thought that ran through my brain yesterday. I guess broadly, like, what is it about art that captures us like that? Like, so I guess, how would you explain the role of art, maybe like in your own life? And I think also just thinking about how, you know, I kind of grew up believing that art was a hobby for the rich. But you see it in all kinds of spaces, like across the spread of wealth and class. And you know, maybe our parents will be listening, you know, they won't. But, you know, I just, I think when you mentioned that your parents were like, bruh, your method of science, you don't have a maths and science grade for nothing. But which is like such a common trope, like across our parents, that's what where they think artists does.
So I think one, again, that's why I said I don't blame my family much. All the successful people that we had seen, a lot of them, it's because they'd studied, became accountants, doctors. But for me, so what role does art play in my life? That's not an easy question. I don't know. I don't think I have a deep answer for you, but for me, it's really just what I liked, what made me feel alive. You know, just like having headphones, listening to music. I was just like, I don't want anything more out of life. This is just so cool. That's why I was like, the radio thing, I was like, these guys get to play songs and just tell you the time and the weather and read a few announcements, and that's a job?
Right.
I was like, yeah, because you just love the thing so much. I was like, it would be so cool to get paid to play music. So I think really it's just the thing that touches you. And it's not only art, because, you know, my brother, who I would say became my guardian, he was an engineer himself. The way he loves that thing. He feels alive. I can tell. Right. You know, when I was growing up and I was finding stuff that he used to do, you know, for me, I'm sure the kids who are growing up at home, they're finding like lyrics that I wrote, my magazines, posters, all those things. But with him, I would find like little electronic things that he built. You know, and even just when you're talking to him, and you know, for me, the one thing that made me feel like that in school was maths. I don't know, for some reason I just liked mathematics. To this day, you guys gonna think it's crazy, but I recently downloaded my a varsity engineering maths book. I was like, let's see if I can still solve these equations. You know, my girlfriend, you know, she was studying in vet. I remember she was struggling with maths, and I was like, oh no, this is how you integrate by parts. And she was like, what, you can do this shit? I was like, you know, and then she still speaks about that to people. She's like, he's so good at maths. I was like, I didn't even realize that I was. So it's a very natural thing for me, and I really love it. I remember I was like, worst case scenario, if I stay in varsity, I just want to go study maths. I don't know what I'm going to do with maths, but I want to be, maybe I'll be in a researcher or whatever, but at least it's a thing that I'm doing that I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
So it's not just art, it's other things, you know. There are many, many other things that I would say I like, that I read about, where I'm just like, fascinating. Again, I think because I was living my life in such isolation, I didn't realize that a lot of the things that I did were interesting. You know, I was interested in architecture, and my girlfriend met me, so around 2016, 17, and yeah, she was like, wow, bruh, you are so obsessed with this video construction, bridge construction videos. I was like, oh shit, I am. I just like, yeah, it's just something that you like. Because just like even with the music, when I was doing the trick, I had to live with another family, and you know, they wanted to watch soccer and wanted to watch this. I was like, oh my goodness, that's time you should be spending listening to music, watching TV. So again, then you realize, you're like, oh, this is I am a bit weird. I am a bit more into this thing more than the average person. But you only really realize, my family, they never made me feel strange, because they know me that this one just listens to music the whole time. But when you find yourself in other environments where people are like, you can't just listen to music the whole time, I'm like, that's what I've been doing my whole life. So again, there are many, many things that drive people. So it's not just art. Yeah.
That's with this thing of just constantly consuming music. So when I was contacting subs for this, I was like, ish, I wonder if you will know me, because it's big time.
Oh, come on.
So I'm like, coach. I'm like, hey, sub, how's it? This is Dilo from Cape Town, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, hey, bro, how's it? It's been a while. I'm like, oh, snap, he remembers me.
Of course. Come on, bro. You could never really match, but
yeah.
When I had Facebook, we were friends on Facebook.
Oh, and when he went big time, big time, guess what happened to his Facebook? Can't find subs on Facebook.
I am on Facebook. Look, my account is on Facebook. I just haven't posted in a while because I got locked out of it. And I don't know. I don't want to be one of those people who have 2 Facebook accounts. I always judge people like that. You know, when it's like somebody's birthday and it's 3 accounts, I'm like,
I'm still getting birthday messages on a Facebook account that I'm locked out of.
So I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do it. Actually, I have a friend who works at Facebook. Maybe I should hit that guy. So no. I did not quit Facebook. No, I love Facebook. Actually,
because you went big time.
No. Facebook is my favorite social media platform.
Really?
Yeah, because it's also just, you know, it's just also friendly. People are friendlier there. It's like
just random.
You know what I mean? Like you talk to people. Yeah, look, the assholes just like in any other place. But come on, man, Facebook is so cool.
It's cool. Especially compared to X, which is like.
Yeah.
The streets are rough.
Yeah. I'm not even that big on the, So yeah.
So how do you mentioned just constantly consuming music?
Yeah.
On Makrak, is it Makrak, the website?
Oh, Makrak, yeah.
You have like over 1,400 articles there. Like 95% of that is just music articles.
Yeah.
How do you keep up to date currently? Because you're just consuming a lot of content. Even your Twitter timeline is just like music. Especially nowadays, there's a lot of music coming out like constantly.
I will tell you, I was just having a conversation on Twitter, funny enough, with, this young, I would say younger me's, not in that way, just like people are doing what I was doing back then, like now, people are like 24, 25 were starting out. And I remember just talking to them. I was like, yo, bro, I'm not as tapped in as you guys are. You guys are as tapped in right now as I was back then. I'm not now, even like people who send you like links to like a rapper. I'm like, there's nothing I can do for that person right now because my work is like the stuff that's like out there, the culture shit. That's what I'm doing. I'm not discovering anymore. I'm really, really not. Look, I will. But the stuff that I discover, it's really stuff that I would say is probably going to blow up because enough people are talking about it, then I would discover it. But I won't lie to you, I'm not as tapped in as I was when I was 24. Like, I used to tell people, I was like, I'll tell you who's up and coming in your own hood. Yeah. That was me back then. But now, not anymore. But you still have to listen to stuff. So a lot of the guys that are doing stuff now, with us back then, it was articles and look, we did playlists on SoundCloud, but with the streaming now, a lot of the guys, they're just creating playlists of like stuff that they're discovering. I'm like, yo, I don't know half of these artists on this playlist, but everyone is amazing. So I rely on those guys, like they're doing an important job. So that people like Eats, there's North Mamacita, if you don't know these names, it's cool. A lot of my friends don't even know these names. But again, I'm still tapped in. I like to see what's happening on the ground. So for me, I get my fix from those guys. But listening to music, it is a challenge because, also as an adult, you have adult things that you have to do. I remember when I was younger, I was just like, I'm going to wake up in the morning and listen to music. Now I can't always, maybe you're driving, but also you're driving, you're thinking about your problems. Sometimes you're like, yo, 3 songs played and I wasn't really listening. So again, but I think it's just loving the stuff. So you still love music, you listen to it, but I'm not as tapped in as the guys who are currently out there. And I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Cool. Let's take it back to Push Radio.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because you took over after a wild.
Yeah.
Push Radio, that show was wild.
Yeah, no, that was, Push Radio. Head Warmers, yeah. When did I meet Andy? I met Andy before we even went to Live Mag, actually, through hip-hop circles, ECT, and just being out there in the streets. I met Andy. I remember we used to talk on BBM. I was like, yeah, bro, let's meet up. Let's come record, chill. So we became friends. I think, also, just we're at the same place, mentally, as in like aesthetically, even with the music.
You were on a song with Andy on SoundCloud.
Yeah, bro. We put out a whole EP together, bro.
Over now on SoundCloud because I was listening to a lot of Andy on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So Andy, bruh, she was also like a photographer. She taught me how to take photos. Andy is my OG. So when because she was already like doing the news at Bush Radio.
Yeah.
So when, I don't know what happened with the previous hosts, Abowanda and Coombs, but there just came a point where they couldn't continue. And then, I think the station, they're like, Andy, you're a hip hop head. Yeah, here's Headwarmers, take it on. And she sent me a text. She was like, yo, bro, you won't believe what just happened. They're asking me to do Headwarmers. And she was like, can you please just come have a segment on the show where you do reviews and and then I came, did that, and she's like, bro, I really wish I was just doing this with you. Why don't you just join me? Just do as like a co-host. So it was her, and then Umaktengo, who was from the previous cohort, and then I joined them. So it was like the 3 of us. That's really how that started. Andy was just like, you're the perfect guy for this shit. Again, the thing that you say, just Facebook, always just posting links to rap albums, rap songs, being a rap loudmouth. That's even how I started writing, at the ciphers, just sit there after the cipher and again, just rap debates, they never end. And, the guy's like, yo, I've heard you, bro, talking your shit there. How's about you talk your shit on my website? Type shit, That's just how my life, even to this day.
So what Headwarmers was at 10, 11? What's on?
Headwarmers was 10 p.m. until 1 a.m.
To 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So how do you manage? Were you at res that time?
So I was still an intern when we first started. I was still an intern at Live Mac. Andy was already a staff. She was staff. She was working. Okay. Same place, but I was an intern. She was staff. So we would leave the office. Was in Greenpoint. Live Mac office is still in Greenpoint, and then take a taxi or a train to Salt River to do Headwarmers, prepared there. And then after the show, we would sleep at the station. Sometimes Andy would have, like, if maybe you have Anja, who's this DJ? Is it Master Cash? I think it's
Master Cash,
yeah. So he would come, I think he was from Gualana, and Andy's like, yo, Brian, I haven't left today, so you're gonna be left alone here. Even myself, I never got a lift those days, actually. I hardly ever left it there. But also, I felt, I was like, yo, she's a woman. I can't leave her alone here. But for me, I was like, nah, brah, go. But me and her, and Dumatlina as well, we slept a lot at the station. Him, less than us because he was working as a driver. So sometimes he would come with the car that he was driving and he'd go home. But Tina, we spent a lot of time. Sometimes it wasn't even like sleeping. It was like, yo, internet access, we're doing our shit, it was also like we're running blogs and, later on Headwarmers, we had like a SoundCloud page where we were posting all the episodes. So it was like, yo, you know what? We are here right now. Why don't you just finish this shit, put the episode up, type out a little blog, social media post, Andy editing her photos and writing your raps. Really, when I say we slept at the station, I know people are like, it was not sad at all.
You just use that time.
It was great. Yeah, it was dope. Then take the train in the morning. I was living at my brother's house in Brackenfell. So, Salt River, Brackenfell, early in the morning. Really, I look back at those days with
who were some of the
such fun
prolific like interviews you remember from?
Number one, obviously, it'd have to be Mos Def. Mos Def. Mos Def. We interviewed Mos Def when he was doing. He had like a New Year's Eve show. It was called Now Year's Eve show. He came through. Even that was given to us. Hussein was just like, Yasin Bey is doing the show in Cape Town. He would like to come promote it. We spoke to that nigga for like an hour and a half, like crazy. There's a picture. I can maybe send you the picture and you can put it up on the.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a picture. Bro. Crazy. So him, definitely. Who else did we interview? Just a lot of them was like Cape Town artists, and I want to say each and every one of them, we had a great time. Sometimes even when it wasn't a great time, because it was a difficult time, but it was great, So Snacks Old, Dream and Scap, Backyard, all of them, Fonzo, all of them, like really, really important. We never looked at it in terms of like, oh yeah, you're big, you're this and that. Like, yes, maybe in terms of like the time allocation, because it's radio at the end of the day. But everybody who came, they were very important to us. We're doing like these round table things about Timo, we're talking about events, and also, we're like just pulling from our own circles, like writer circles. We did one on documenting culture. We got people who are not even like listening to the show, just people who are in Cape Town. I think it was dope.
Yeah,
like, it was really dope. Yeah,
you studied electrical engineering, and then kind of changed completely to just being a writer. Did you take a short course? How did you find your space with?
So the reason I don't like calling myself a journalist is because I'm not a qualified journalist. But a lot of the writers, like especially like hip hop music writers, a lot of them are not necessarily journalists. It's an interest thing, you know. The guy I would say really inspired me the most is a guy called Tidi Somanahang, guy from Lesotho. He was studying computer science, you know, and he was already like deep into like the music writing stuff, music journalism, you know. He had blogs. He was, you know, just really using the internet. So I was like, "Hi, boy, this guy is studying computer science and he's doing it." And he was good, like really good. I was like, why can't I do it? So for me, it was like, yo, and he liked me, bumped into each other in the sci-fi. You know, now when he says, it's just like, you know, you looked very keen to do this thing. So I would say really one of the people I learned from. But just writing in general, and I'm not saying that people who studied it, you know, there's it's not an easy thing, but it's a thing you can learn from reading and writing. I've been reading and writing for as long as I can remember. So, again, one of my brothers, he was like a poet when he was in high school. So, you know, I would want to do the same, you know, write short stories. So writing, I've always been writing. But to just learn the, you know, journalism, because journalism is not just writing. I did an internship. So Live Mag, you keep talking about, I did an internship there for 9 months. The internship was supposed to last 3 months, but I kept on coming back, you know. I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't ready, but also I was not getting a job, because usually what happened is people, you know, you come with your degree from UCT, you do this short internship and then you get a job. But for me, it was like I was building from scratch, just from, you know, being self-taught. So I stayed there for 9 months. That really, really shaped, it helped a lot. Like, I don't think I would be the writer I am without that place, because so the idea of Live Mag, they were like, we want you guys to learn on the job. So we simulate like a newsroom. So there's like the interns who create the content, but you have mentors. So we have so they were still printing back then. So there was like the, I think the editor, I don't know if that's what she was called, but it was a lady called Lee Middleton. She was from America. Sick writer and editor. Like, you know, again, so I would look at these mentors and I'd go and read their stuff. And I'm like, what? So again, you're reading, you know, you're learning, but also they're telling you that, oh no, you do this, you do that, you know, like really small things like, no, you introduce your subject. So your reader doesn't know who Phoenix is. So you have to say, Kayele Chapon rapper Phoenix. Small things like those, which you, when you're doing a blog, you're not even doing them, because anyway, you're writing for people who know who those people are. So really, really just teaching us the basics of journalism. So there was her, there was Linda Nkosi, you know, she was the digital whatever mentor, you know. So she was looking at the website and she liked me a lot, you know, because I'm a child of the internet, so I understood a lot of the stuff. So again, you know, it's mentorship, but it's also relationship, and some of it even becomes a friendship. Like, I'm still in touch with all those people. And then, you know, there was like a videography mentor, photography mentor, you know, and me as a person who was interested in everything, you know, you learn as much as you can. And what's crazy is that you're learning by doing. You know, you're writing the article and then the mentor's taking it and looking at it and it's like, no, you don't do this, or you do this, or you see, this is how you do this.
Yeah.
That's really what shaped the, you know, the journalism side of it, which I think gives my work the integrity that maybe people who are doing the same thing don't necessarily have. Like, I remember back then there were like blogs popping up everywhere and you look at it, you're like, good for the culture, but it's not done right. But because I was in a place where I was mentored by professionals, and then, you know, later on there was a lady called John G, who I think for me, she had the most impact, because what she did, you know, when you're in a place like that, young people and all that, and internet culture, you you tend to pay attention to like the wrong things. I remember like some of the people that we're interning with, you know, they think being a content creator, you know, it's about the appearance, you know, posting outfit of the day, this and that, which is great. But when it comes to like doing the work, I'm like, you know, you look nice, but your work not so much, you know, which, you know, for me, it was like, she was like, you see Bonang, do you see how glamorous she looks? Do you know how much work she does behind the scenes? You know, so which a lot of people are like, I'm taking them seriously. Because, you know, even to this day, it's still fascinating to me to look at a guy like Dre or Kanye, where I'm like, these people are multi-millionaires, billionaires even, but this is a guy who can still open a computer and make a beat. Do you understand that? It's like, because, you know, it's like the richer you get, the less attention you pay to the craft. That's what I've seen for people. But for me, I'm like, wow, Pharrell still makes a beat. Like he's making the beat himself. So yeah, even a person like Bonang, for me, I thought Bonang just has everybody doing stuff for her, you know, but it's not like that. And, you know, now I see it now, you know, when I'm on set, I was on set for a show called Festive Get Together. That's done by Slikour Online. And I saw Unathi. Just how dedicated Unathi, yeah. How dedicated she is to the craft. Like, this woman is there telling everybody to shut up because she's busy learning the script, practicing it like in a mirror in front of everybody. So I'm like, you know, this is what we were being taught back then. So shout out to that woman, Jonji, really. And, you know, she came when I was not an intern anymore. I'd just been promoted to, you know, looking at the website, but I wasn't writing, and I still wanted to write. She was like, yeah, you can write because you're still under 25 and you fit the, because I think the age limit was 18 to 25 at like Mac. But there was a time she was just like, you know what? Your standard is like so high right now. You should be out there. And she was like, every week I'm giving you an hour of my time for you to send me an article of yours that you are sending to another publication. I'll sit here and help you through it.
Sure. Ah, man. Shout out.
You know,
the very few people like that.
Oh, Dave.
Shout out.
Like,
she did that, you know, which Tiriso also did that, you know, where I was writing my articles. He was like, so before I even send the article to the editor, he was already editing it, you know, and also that also just taught me that. So through them, I learned to be like, this thing is difficult because I think for me, every profession, everything that you do, you need to realize that it's not easy. And now that's what I'm telling the writers that I'm mentoring. I'm like, you know, when they send me an article and I send it back to them with so many red markings and I'm like, nah, fix this. And I can tell that, you know, it's discouraging to them. I'm like, no, this is not a joke. This is not difficult. This is not a thing. You don't just sit down and write and put it out there and it's fine. You know, they taught me that, you know, today. So, you know, and you even just read that. He had to, at a point in time, he had to actually show me that this is how editors treat me in case you're thinking I'm bullying
just being mean to you.
You know, because, yeah, you send an article, you use like what's Google Docs, you know, was like the comments, you're just sitting there, you're seeing the emails that
the notifications coming in.
Left a comment, and next thing you look, it's like left 50 comments. I'm like, what? And you look at that, they're like, it's like, oh, not this, not that, you know. But yeah, yeah. So that's just the kind of help I got. Sure. That's how I was trained. And, you know, being on head warmers, you know, people that like the very tough crowd. Very tough crowd. And I won't lie to you.
In the crowd.
Yeah, he was. Look, he wasn't as hateful, but he was there. And look, bro, there was like hate. I won't lie to you, but a lot of it, I did not look at it that way. Because I was like, firstly, I'm new to this thing. I can't just come here and be good at it.
Sure.
So there was like a lot of it. I'm sure, you know, even like after years, I think when we were hosting German Scarf, they're like, you guys have done such a great job with the show. It's sounding great now. It wasn't sounding so great in the beginning. Because also there wasn't like a proper handover from the previous guy.
So you had to just find your way.
We were starting from scratch, you know. So even just things like those, very, very, very helpful into just like, you know, people are just teaching you that, no, you did that wrong. And next week, you don't want to get it wrong, you know. Yeah, so that's how I got trained.
I just want to interject, and
Yes.
like the first thing that stood out for me was how you said that you don't like to call yourself a journalist because you're not qualified.
Yeah.
And then when to speak about a whole journey of qualification, right? It's like,
I mean, yeah.
like I think that,
But it's not
it's not a formal.
It's not. I don't have a
even
BA in journalism like
But
other
I
people
think-
do. But my
feel like
shit
there
is
are people-
journalistic. I won't lie to you.
Exactly.
It really is. But yeah, again,
There are people with BAs.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I think that's
I'd say
also like
just out of respect. I respect people's crafts. Out of respect for the craft, I
respect your own as well.
I just prefer. I think writer for me. It also just. It's just more encompassing of the stuff that I do because
Right.
journalists, I know journalists. Those people wake up in the morning, go out there, do news, go to newsroom and then go sleep. But, for me, I've written scripts for TV. I've written stuff for streaming platforms. I've done some research for
Right.
TV documentaries.
So you're not just
That's,
bound
so
to
saying journalism would be kind of like doing
Limiting.
disservice to the stuff
That's
that I
fair.
do. Yeah. So which is why I just like to say content creation, which, now content creation, maybe it means I'm on TikTok, not that kind of content creation.
Are you downplaying us?
No. I'm just saying, I'm just saying like, I'm not like Robot Boy. I mean, that's a guy's a content creator, right? I'm not like Robot Boy. I don't even have I have a TikTok account, but I'm not on
It's a
TikTok.
fake time.
robot.
Yeah. Oh, robot, yeah. So, guys like those, when you say content creator, people think that, but for me, I'm like writing, taking photos, videos, editing, everything. That's what I mean by content creation in this context.
I'm interested in, so just going back again to your journey of growing as a writer, but
Yeah.
I think, part of your writing is definitely like, journalistic.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, journalism is pretty much just storytelling,
100%,
right? And,
yeah.
and deciding which stories you're telling.
Yeah.
So would you say like, there's kind of like 3 principles you hold yourself to, like what kind, when, because you have kind of hinted at, you have a sense of what is good and what isn't good, and but is that like explicit in your mind? Is it just kind of like a vibe you get as you write?
Shit. Wow. You don't ask easy questions, huh?
So I just
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure if this will answer your question, but my writing, what do I consider in my writing?
Yeah, like
So I consider I consider fairness. I think that's a journalism principle. Fairness, I have my own biases, but if I am going to take a stand, I have to say why, and I have to, give supporting evidence. That's what I got this. I was given like a column on OK Africa to write opinion pieces, and I was very, very careful to not just come and be like, AKA is the best. I have to tell you why. So I think that's fairness.
Yeah.
But also, this is like a recent thing in the last few years when I was doing stuff for a streaming platform that I cannot mention because I signed an NDA.
Right.
I hope I'm not breaking, jeopardizing my bread.
Man, we need a content producer here. We don't have the cash, but work something out.
Yeah, so what they said in the guidelines, they were like, the work that you write for us, we like it when it has moments of just think of the reader being like, oh, wow, I didn't know this about this artist. So I think that's where my work is very research heavy.
Sure.
Because, they would give you stuff like an artist from the Netherlands that you've never heard about. And you have to write something compelling. So research, very, very important. I think that's how you're able to then, wow people with facts that they didn't know. So a lot of my work, whenever I put it out and people, they were like, I feel like I learned something new.
Sure.
So you said 3, that's 2.
Yeah, no, listen, no pressure for 3.
Yeah,
It's just like,
Let me see if there is 3. What else do I value in my work? What else do I value in my work? I would say quality, very, very difficult. And this is an ongoing struggle for everybody, with the media industry not making as much money as it used to back then, like in the internet era. So you find that you don't have sub editors. Sub editors are very important. They're the ones who clean up your work. Repetitions, correct grammar, because as a writer, you don't always have the best grammar. Believe me, I've seen like the best of writers when I'm working as an editor, and I'm like, wow. You don't always have the best grammar, but that's fine. Sub-editor is going to be there to correct that. But really, with the absence of sub-editors, our work on the internet is not of the highest quality. Sometimes I read my articles from like 3 years ago. I'm like, yo, there's a typo, which there's nothing I can do. I'm not a sub-editor. I can't write and sub-edit myself. That's why sub-editors were important, because so I'd say quality, I try my best. I try my best to be like, there isn't a last person to blame on this thing. So let me try and get my work to be of the best standard, but it doesn't always happen. Even like to this day, I still go and, you correcting stuff from back then, so quality definitely important. And it's an ongoing struggle, New Frame, out of the digital publications, they were like the only ones who had a like sub editors. Even the New York Times doesn't have sub editors anymore. The sub editors, they dissolved that whole department because of money issues. So unless you're writing for the Mail and Guardian, like the newspapers, they have sub editors. But all the stuff that you do online, no sub editors. So it's bound to make mistake.
Just curious about like AI in your area of work. I just thought of it now, talking about sub-editing and how,
look,
ChatGPT.
Even AI still needs sub-editing. I've tried stuff on AI, but personally, I haven't found a use for AI. I do encourage my junior writers to be like, it's a good point to start. It's a good starting point. Obviously, don't rely on it, but it's a good starting point to just be like, I'm not so familiar with the subject. Let me go on AI and hear what it says.
Right.
I guess for me, it's almost like a search engine, but it does the work for you. I always say, I don't know what writers did without Google. I cannot imagine myself being a writer and I really, I don't know how they used to do it. I have respect for people who were writing back then. So it's just like a search engine. You don't just copy and paste. You take what you take, you take what you take. So even with AI, you take what you take. But AI for me, in terms of writing, I haven't used it that much. But for other things, I think it's very important, For I think in like the science field, AI is... It's actually unbelievable, the amount of stuff that people have been able to do. The stuff that people are still going to do. In writing, I don't know if you're a writer and you're watching this and you use AI, hit me up, tell me how to go about it. But I haven't found a use for it.
Cool. So what are some of the key considerations when you're writing a cover story and then just a normal story?
Look, I will tell you, I'm going to be on my Stogie t-shirt now, just, being controversial. We don't have cover stories in essay, man.
Wait, what?
Look, we have it because it's on the cover, but I'll tell you, bruh, if you look at a Rolling Stone cover story, the person spends days with the subject. Like, people fly to Paris to spend time with, Kanye, or like I remember... it's crazy. We're still in this building that we're in. When I was at Live Mag, and we had one of the board members. He was from the UK. He had come here. He used to be a journalist, and he was just telling us about, he was doing, I think, a cover story on Kanye, I think for Dazed and Confused. And he was like, I was in the car with him and he hated me. He was like, I'm never going to do an interview with a white journalist ever again. Kanye type shit.
Kanye being...
Where I'm like... Very few of us have stories like those where you're like, I was on an assignment and I was in a car with Kanye. Really, when you read a Rolling Stone cover story, this person is there behind the scenes at the show. They're watching the artist get ready. They are watching the artist do makeup. Cover story, that's what a cover story is. Here, which is just long form interviews.
Are you talking across the board, not just the art and culture?
So obviously I'm talking about arts and culture and music. Look, I mean, I'm sure like a cover story for
magazine.
Hey?
You magazine.
you know, I mean, so I think also those publications, I think they're not so in depth, you know, they're not as in depth as a Rolling Stone gets. Like, have you seen a Rolling Stone cover story? It's like 10, 15 pages.
Sure.
Hectic.
It's like the writing, it's the pictures, it's, you know what I mean? But here you just get, an interview with Nadia for 30, 45 minutes and then you go call that a cover story. That's just a profile.
So is it about the time you spend with the person or the quality of?
So no, not the quality. I mean, there are good writers in SA. People are writing out there, but you know, I think because we're not given access, because I think our industry does not understand the role of media. For me, with the time I've spent, they really look at media as a marketing, like PR thing.
Sure.
Like, I have an album, so I'm gonna speak to the media about this album. But yeah. Like cover stories, I'm telling you.
Do you have a cover story?
Do I have a cover story? That I would say is a cover story. No. I've written cover stories for the Mail and Guardian, but you know, that's like a feature cover story, so that makes sense. But when I was at Hype, you know, I didn't like how we're doing the cover stories, and I was just like, oh, it's just an interview, you know. So I'm proud of them for what they were, but really our cover stories, this side, they are just glorified profiles.
So I'm kind of looking at it as I like to call myself a mainstream consumer, right? Like I just know the big names. I'm like 25K Kiman.
You see?
Sorry.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think also like I'm kind of like a product of how I grew up, right? Like the 2000s, there were like 10 artists. And we all knew the 10 artists, right?
Yeah.
That's how it was portrayed,
it's different
right?
These days.
And now there's like this explosion.
Yeah.
And I guess I was just curious, like, is there space for everyone? Is it kind of you try your luck and hope that you're going to make it to the top? Like,
yeah, there's definitely not space for everyone.
Sure.
There definitely isn't. It's a very competitive space. Very, very competitive. But I think also, you know, we're living in a place where, you know, radio, like the mainstream platforms are still very powerful, you know, as compared to, look, things are slowly changing. You know, you have Abo Uncle Waffles, which just blow up on the internet.
Sure.
You know, but I'm not sure if we're streaming, the streaming numbers are as big, obviously, as the States, because obviously it's a bigger country. And, but we're really getting there, because if you look at a guy like Reese, like Reese is big. Okay?
Reese is a cult follower.
But you look at a guy like Nasty C, you know, I mean, Nasty C, yes, there's a label behind him, but I will say even look at a guy like Words or 25K, you know, 25K, maybe there's also a label at some point, but Words is like super independent. But you look at that guy's streams, healthy. Tyson Saibatelli, healthy. D Koala, you like, you niggas have a song that has 1 million streams on Spotify. That's no small feat, bruh. Here, Zabs said something very interesting to me, you know, that
Hold on.
What?
Are you having a starstruck moment?
This is the thing about Sabelo. Sabelo is the thing of just dropping a name and just walking.
You just said to me over tea the other day.
You find that this was not even like on work time, you know?
They were having tea.
Actually, I was having tea with Zabs, actually. Yeah.
It's only like you understood hip hop like that.
Yeah, I know. He's a card.
This was the thing. He just like mentions people and then just walks away. Like, he was having tea with Zabs.
Yes. What did Zabs say?
I mean, but also here's my thing, bro. You call me this goat, so I'm there with the goats. What do you mean, bro? Like
the amount of people that Zabs just single-handedly like, ushered into the industry.
Sure.
Yeah. So
we should get
he
Zabzo.
was saying, you should.
I said, it was yesterday when I said,
Zabzo would be dope. Yeah.
I'm not, there's no like celebrity I would like to interview like that, like a true celebrity. But Zabzo, because there's like stories.
Yeah. Also very, very well spoken guy. Very well spoken
Hey,
guy.
man.
Anyway, I want to make this point.
Yes.
So he said, like those, hip hop popular was like, don't ever mistake yourself into thinking these are hip hop fans. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking, there's so many hip hop fans in SA now. It was like, these are just people who are listening to whatever is popular. So they like good, they like whatever is out there, but these are not necessarily hip hop fans.
Right.
But with where we are right now, where you like Reese or 25K who you wouldn't know, you're like, easily video reaches 1 million. It shows that because you know that on YouTube, you are actually searching for 25K video, or you saw it and you clicked on it. It's not a passive thing to be like, I was just driving to work, or I was in a taxi and then heard a song. No, you actually clicked and you watched, it came on and you stayed and you watched. It shows we have hip hop fans now. Sure. Like a guy like Reese doesn't have a pop song. That guy is a rapper. You know, you could say with Nasty, like Jack is a song you can play on a breakfast show. Reese doesn't have a breakfast show song, but the fact that he has millions and millions of views, it shows that there are enough people who love this shit for what it is. Beautiful place to be in. I feel like that's what all the underground rappers wanted back then. That's all they wanted. They were just like, we're not necessarily trying to be played on Metro. We just want our people to listen to our shit directly. That's what's happening with Reese. That's what's happening with 25K Words, whoever, Dikowala, Maclera, you know what I mean? I think it's a beautiful place to be in.
Yeah. Let's talk here about the TV work now.
Yeah.
You were a scriptwriter, right? Well, for some of the shows.
Yeah. And mostly research. Like the script has always been co-writing. It's always been co-writing. Yeah.
What was the kind of thinking behind the Hip Hop 50 episode?
Oh, the Slikour Online thing.
Slikour Online thing, yeah.
Oh wow.
50 years of hip.
Yeah. So the Hennessy thing. Hennessy came to us. Hennessy came to Slikour Online, and I'm not sure if the round table was their idea or our idea, but I think we're curating names. So the idea was was a moment of reflection. That I would say that's the concept. The concept was to be like 50 years of hip hop, moment of reflection. Where are we? What's the state of the culture? That was the concept. You know, who do we have there? Stogie, Reese. Who else is there? Mosley,
Scoop.
And
Scoop and Uncle Party Time. Yeah. I mean, we wanted to have Ready D, but it ended up not working out. I think so, because so that was the few people who criticized the thing. They were like, how do you have 50 years of hip hop without the people who were there from the very beginning? Like Ready D, but it was a logistics issue. Yeah, he was on the first list, but I don't know what ended up happening, but he ended up not being part of it. He was part of the campaign with NSC, because he at the event he played. He was really supposed to be part of that round table, but it didn't work out. I don't know. Maybe it was contracts. Maybe it just ended up not working out. But that was the point. You get the old and the new. That was the idea. Yeah.
So the script, how do you start with the script for
something like that? So the intro that's written by me. Obviously Scoop is a legend. So
the way he animated it.
He obviously, he doesn't even say the exact words I put it, but the idea is that these are the points. So even the questions, the direction of the conversation, that's what comes with the script. Or that I wrote the script for that. So the questions, because bruh, it's crazy because it was second time working with Scoop, because first time I worked with him was on your MTV Raps, and you came to me, it was like, was like, yo, I was about to ask who wrote this. Can't it's you? And he saw me there, you know, I was like, what? You trust me that much? Now it was like really great script, bro, because you're even telling me which question to ask who, you know. Bro, Scoop made me feel so important that day, bro. Like when we're shooting that thing, man, yo, that might just be one of the best things, best moments of my life. Reese was there, Stogie was there, Slikour was there, everyone was there, and you know, even just was insane.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, as a self-confessed non-hip hop person, it was such a good conversation to listen to and kind of get a sense. I mean, obviously, like, I cannot know the full extent, but it was such a nice SA hip hop 101.
Yeah, that's essentially what it was, man. That's what it was. Yeah.
But I think one of the questions that we talked about when we were talking about this particular show was, I saw on Twitter, there were like 1 or 2 people that were dragging you for Stogie T's comment about there's no classic album, right? It's like you were the script writer.
But I think people make the mistake of thinking that the subjects, none of what they said comes from me.
Right.
Okay, so those are not your words.
So no, I can't tell him to say that.
You're a script writer, so to us,
no.
That's everything.
Are you telling me that's what people thought? No. It's like you guys. You guys are the script writers for this thing, but you're not responsible for.
That's different, though. This is an interview. This is not a round table.
So okay, but So to clarify. Stuff that came from us is the stuff Scoop said.
Right.
Most obviously there's some stuff that he said on his own, but a lot of the scripting was for Scoop, the presenter. So it is, you write for the presenter, not for the subject.
No, that makes sense. 100%.
So the question, that's me.
Yes.
But the answer, so the question about classics, that's me. But the answer's
okay.
I take no responsibility.
Being where you are now, right? Can you still have a completely like an opinion where it's purely from a fan point of view? Where you don't.
My opinions are from a fan. But obviously not when I'm in a show like that. When I'm working, I can't do that. But like my shit, when I write, if it's an opinion. It'll almost be stated that it's an opinion, so that you just don't confuse your reader, because someone is reading. One thing I've realized is that a lot of writers, we are writing for people our age, for our own writers. But for me, I'm like Slikour Online. I look at the demographics. I'm like, the people who are reading the 18 to 26, 27. Yes, there are people my age, but a majority of the people are young. So. Well, it will be dangerous to just like pass an opinion as not saying that it's an opinion.
Okay, then now what's your take on Stogie's point about?
We had this conversation with him. I was like, no, bro, no. I told him, I was like, hi, bro, you can't say that. So I disagree with him. I'm just like you. I'm sure you do. I totally disagree with him. Now we disagree. We even spoke about Avery and but. For me, I think the response to that, it got out of hand, because for me, I was like, this guy is not being shady, because he even said, I've put out albums in this country too. So I'm saying my albums are not classic. So you can't say I'm hating.
Yes.
I really, but just people, I was like, hi, Bo, did we watch the same video? So now
if the response not involved in that at all, and there's no relationship with Stoke, work or otherwise, you still wouldn't call him a hater for saying that?
So no, I've been fighting for that guy before we even knew each other. I've always thought it's wrong to call him a hater. I think it also just comes from being a critic,
right?
And people calling us haters. Because for me, almost everything that he says, I'm like, I may not agree with you, but I get where you're coming from. Like a good example, I even wrote an article and I noticed that a lot of people were like, you're just defending this guy. Where you remember the incident at the South African Hip Hop Awards, him and Casper and him not liking Casper, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I was like, so this guy, let's say, I don't think that's the case. Let's say he doesn't like Casper's music. That's what he usually criticized. You're going to call him a hater as a beta OG because Casper is young and he's old. But this guy has songs with AKA. This guy has songs with J Molly. This guy has songs with Zuchi Coke Dope. This guy is at Cotton Fest at these events where the young people are. And you're calling him a beta OG because he has beef with one young guy. That, to me, I never understood that. But also, he's always been this way. Like Squatter Camp, I think when they put out, which album? One of their albums, he went on YFM and he was like, I don't like that album. Again, speaking from it's crazy that the question that you're asking me, but I'll get to it. So he says, when I talked to him, he was like, bro, I was just speaking from, I was at the club with these guys. We were just rap guys. And now niggas are like making commercial songs. I'm like, nah, bruh, nah. And he says it. He was like, they were right. I was wrong. Because they were like, bruh, don't go on air and say shit like that. Sbadala manja, we need to make money. They were like, don't give away the cake. And he says it. He's like, they were right. I was wrong. But it was not hate.
At which point does, do you have an example of an opinion that was just like straight up hate? Like, are you a hater? Do you have, I'm just trying to establish at which point does something become a hate?
You mean apart from Slick Talk? Slick Talk is a hater. You see, Slick Talk is a hater. I can say this because he won't make a video about me because I'm nobody. So you see, that's hate where you're just like, hi, bo,
Does he actually have a video where he's just talking good about something?
No, man, come on, that's not on brand.
Does he?
I don't think so, man.
I almost feel like it's hate.
So I think he likes Aries. Does he? I feel like he likes. He has some artists that he likes. He won't necessarily. Yeah.
You should interview Slip Talk and put him on.
I'm not gonna interview Slip Talk. No, I don't like the guy like that. So also for me, I don't think he needs me. First of all, he's like big. I mean, this guy has been punched by Casper. That's
the man went down.
And imagine getting punched by Casper and get paid for it.
It's a nice deal, bro.
It was Slikour Online was there, but I wasn't in Slikour Online when that happened. So I'd say a guy like Slick Talk, but who else? Maybe like somebody more sensible who's hated. I'm trying to think of somebody who's hated. Shit. I can't think of anything. I really can't think of anything.
Let me see. Who? Do you think that the feedback, the general feedback on Casper's latest album is hate?
What's the general feedback on Casper's album? People don't like it?
They don't like it. They don't vibe with it.
People don't like it.
Not from what I've seen. I like the album.
No.
But people are just like...
It's a good album. That's strange. I mean...
most people are like, on socials. They're like,
Really? What do they not like about that album?
I don't know. I guess they were expecting him to be... I don't know, dude.
No, but he did say that he doesn't want to make that kind of album. Look, man, I don't know. Look, shit. Yeah, I've seen that this album was unfairly hated on, but I haven't seen like a lot of people really hating on it. So I'm not sure what the criticism is on it. So maybe something like that could be hate because the fact that I can't even tell you what it is that people don't like, So it's just about him more than the album. It's like, I think so. I think so. So maybe that's a good example. But again, like music is like very, very subjective,
who shouldn't be doing rap at all?
What?
Very subjective opinions. We're talking, that's what we're on, bro.
It's an opinion.
Like who's rapping now and shouldn't rap?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You thought I don't ask easy questions, hey?
I can't think of anyone. I really can't. Maybe if there was a list where you're like, yeah, I don't know.
One must go.
Oh no! What? No. I really cannot. Yeah, I remember there was this question thing on questionnaire on Twitter that was trending where they're like, favorite rapper, rapper with the most whatever, rapper I dislike the most. I answered that. I remember rapper I dislike. I said nah on my one. So in case you're thinking I'm just changing, I'm not saying this because there are cameras, but. Look, you don't believe me. Look,
Do you have an answer?
Did you
For
say?
your question?
Yeah, maybe you should give us. Who do you think shouldn't be rapping? Maybe
rapping.
Maybe we could start there.
I'm the one asking questions here.
Lead by example.
Who shouldn't be rapping?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know, Chief. I wasn't ready to answer like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have some names in mind. I'm sure you have some names in mind.
Let me drop a few names so you're going to say yes or no. No.
We can.
The man is worried about his bag, yo.
No,
Listen,
we can.
Don't
We can.
compromise the damn bag.
No, we can. We can. Look, I can't say.
Okay.
So let me tell you this.
Okay.
I can't say who shouldn't be rapping.
Right.
I can tell you who I like and who I don't like as a rapper. That's not a.
That's a cop out, bro. That's a cop
No,
out.
but I can't say you shouldn't be rapping.
Here's the thing.
I can't. Bro.
Let's do this.
2v1,
Let's
bro.
do this.
2v1 right now.
You're gonna grab this. These are lyrics, right? So what you're gonna do? You're gonna rate them from 1 to 10.
Really?
So
What am I doing?
What's this number here?
Adjudicating.
It's a 6.
Verse 6. So check
Okay.
verse 6.
I'm the cheetah with the most drip.
Yeah.
But so undive kazi ndimisa ngalonto. Oh, so okay. Too driven njengebhima on the road ndivilile moto. Dala lighting. The sikya zodwa mabafihle lunch cause ngokusikhona. Bayabona siyabonana akusekho ukujika ngokusiqonda ngqo. Uyaqonda njengekhola. Bayaxoka amanuluka ngumxhosa. You trying to get me killed. This
Out of
one,
five.
I don't like this one much. Out of 5, I'd give this one a 2. I mean, too driven njengebhima. I mean, bruh. What do you mean?
As a people driver, you should be proud.
But look, I mean, too driven njengebhima. It's just not specific enough. What do you mean too driven? Maybe for me, if wow, this is gonna end badly for me. But if maybe if there was the 2, as in like 2, the number, maybe if too driven, maybe if there was like a 2 driven and 2 as in like 2 the number, maybe if there was a 2 involved with the beamer, then you'd be like, okay, this guy is thinking. But I could have said 2 driven njenge bands. I could have said 2 driven njenge Audi. It goes nowhere.
Okay, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
Look, data is just what I'm about. This is an okay line. Let's see what he has next.
What line is it?
The Gukdala like is a sitja zodwa mabafihle lunch cause ngokusikhona, not a punchline, but you hear what he's saying. So let's hear what he bayabona siyabonabona akusekho ukujika ngokusiqonda ngqo. Look, the first one was like okay. But yeah, so for me, it's like a guy like Questa. You know how Questa would do this shit where it's like, it's like, mina nyababa baba, when we are baba.
Yeah.
Where you like, nyababa as in like, baba as in like, but we are baba as in like, we are baba kancane, but you like, it's just baba, but this guy is making sense. You want it to be like that, but
Translated.
I'm not getting that. I'm not getting any of that here. Like, when this guy's just like, I'm like, bruh, seriously? That's like saying, we're not sitting down, bruh, we're standing up, like, nothing. This one. Who's this?
No, rate it first.
I said, I'm giving it
Oh, you
2
said
out of
2.
5.
Okay, that's the Bravo.
I could tell.
I don't know why I'm holding this.
Oh my goodness, Bravo's gonna kill me. Mr. Bravo. And I love Bravo very much.
Yeah.
What song is this?
This is Sukok,
Really?
not from the latest album.
Yeah.
Like, 2
I
out of
love
5.
Bravo. I love Bravo, but yeah, I'm not moved by this song.
I mean, I think it speaks again to like the thing of different strokes for
This-
different folks.
This is not gonna end well. Yeah, but hey,
Yeah.
hey.
I'm like, if I were to listen to hip hop, I would want to listen to something like that, where I'm not deciphering too much with the metaphor.
Look, I wanna tell you. Look, I wanna. So look. Here's what I wanna tell you about this. You know, this is trap. I'm assuming, but also, so some stuff like this, it just sounds nice when you're hearing it, but when you go and analyze it, you're like, you didn't do much. You know, yeah. I still stand by.
I feel like
I still stand by 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
I love Bravo, but I still stand by 2 out of 5.
Honestly, I would give a lot of Beyonce songs 2 out of 5 for lyrics.
Oh, really?
For lyrics, but it's that thing where it's like it sounds good when you put it together, but if you just analyze me in the booth,
Wow, I can't believe you guys
Yeah.
did this to me.
Let's see.
Let's get another.
You said you still have your own opinion as a fan.
I'm a fan, bro. I'm a fan.
Let's check out this one. Out of 5.
Alarms ringing, start thinking. Fuck, I was dreaming about late nights drinking. Basslines kicking. Moving to the dance floor with waistlines freaking. Next to me sleeping is the one I chose out of all these women. She's my wife now. That's a part of my life now. Got 2 beautiful kids. We're living right now with a biggest mansion that's the size of a lighthouse. A man couldn't ask for more. I choose the right vows. I know this verse. She's my wife now. That's a part of my life now. Got 2 beautiful kids. I know this verse. This is an American song.
I'm not gonna still give
right?
you an answer.
Poker face.
Great.
So let's see. How much am I giving this? Let's study it again. Alarms ringing. Start thinking. Fuck, I was dreaming about the late nights drinking. I'm in.
Where is the saying?
Basslines kicking. Moving to the dance floor with waistlines freaking. Next to me sleeping is the one I chose out of all these women. Also, waistlines freaking all these women. She's my wife now. That's a part of my life now. The 2 beautiful kids we live in right now. With the biggest mansion that's the size of a lighthouse. A man couldn't ask for more. I give this one a 2 also.
2 out of 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking, thinking, drinking. Look, start drinking, nights drinking. Okay, maybe let's start drinking, nights drinking, waistlines freaking, all these women. My life now, living right now, size of a lighthouse, or just the right house. I still give it a 2.
2 out of 5. That is Pro Kid.
Yeah, I still. Oh, this is the first album. Eh?
Living the way.
Yeah, living the way. I still give it a 2 over 5.
Really?
Yeah, I still give it a 2 over 5.
Mr. Danky-san.
So that's the thing. You are
Mr.
thinking of the
Wazozo
name.
Wabona.
I still give it a bro.
Yeah?
You know, after this, I can take out my phone and read you shit where I would say here's a 5 over 5.
Sure.
I think maybe we should do that.
So,
yeah, this one. So let me tell you,
okay.
I give. Oh, even this one, I give it to them for expression, but they're not doing much else.
Sure.
They're not doing much else.
Wait, what do you mean for expression?
Expression isn't like I can hear what this guy's saying.
Okay.
This is like stuff that I would listen to and feel cocky because I'm like, yo, it's like, you know, this one, it's like a fuck you to the haters. Like we here, we're doing it. Maybe you were closing doors for us. I give that to them, the emotion, even here. But I'm just looking here, bruh, like the rhymes. Start drinking, nights drinking. I think that one is dope because, you know, the start and the night. Look, I'm not sure if you can rhyme start and night, but when he's saying it,
Yeah.
which, you know, that's also a skill. Dance floors with waistlines freaking. And then I'm sure this rhyming women with freaking. Again, when he's saying it, it sounds like it, but it's still, and then, you know, then it comes to life now, right now. You're not doing much, bruh. Size of a lighthouse. I choose the right vowels. Okay, I think the last 2. I'd say the last 2.
Right
I'd say the last, maybe 2.5 actually. 2.5. I think the quality is dope. I think, you know, size of a lighthouse, choose the right vowels, you know, because what this guy's doing here, lighthouse is a word. So this is not predictable because the right vowels, that's not a word. He actually, it's like a phrase, but it's rhyming with the word. It's like two words that rhyme with one word. Okay, so he is doing something there. But, once it's just like about thinking, drinking, freaking, women, life now, let's say, okay, 2.5.
You know what we need?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Wired magazine?
Yeah. I've seen those things. Yeah.
And they have like 21 levels of. We need like 21 levels of.
Yeah.
Rhymes, raps.
Yeah.
When I come back to Cape Town.
Yeah. Yeah, but Genius also has this. Genius, it's like rate the bars. I saw T.I. He was reading like a Tupac lyric, like angry blacks. He was like, I'd give this a 1. I mean, so please don't bring up a legend and think I will change my shit.
Okay.
Tupac is a legend, but T.I. gave him 1, so
yeah.
That's fair.
To this one.
And it's one piece of work.
When kings run out of grace, kingdoms go up in flames. This sounds familiar. When killing is customary, your kin go running for safe. You don't know her, but the story arc is the same. Boatloads displaced, most young and afraid, row across the straits, Coast Guard when in Spain. They trying to ship you back, it's a false start to your fate. But Red Cross lady knows that stoic display. It's really masking the trauma that more than often is rape. This is crazy. This is Doggy T, nah? Yeah. This is the Twitter King Bones Sparking Flames. What's this? But this is Doggy 100%, I know. Let's see. When kings run out of grace, kingdoms go up in flames. When killing is customary, your kin go run. Oh, this is from the God's Eye thing. You don't know her, but the story arc is the same. Boatloads displaced, mostly young and afraid. Row across the straits, Coast Guard when in Spain. They trying to ship you back, it's a false start to your fate. But Red Cross lady knows the stoic display. It's really masking the trauma that more than often is rape. Yeah, I like this. But this is Stogie. For his standard, I will give this one at 3.5 over 5. So again, very, very emotion, crazy. Because I think here he's talking about what is this verse about? But yeah, I've studied. This is God's Eye.
Story, yeah.
God's Eye, yeah. Or immigrant story, yeah. Let me read it again and see. Kings run out of grace, kingdoms go. So, when kings run out of grace, kingdoms go up in flames. It's almost like the whole line rhymes. It's crazy, Kings run out of grace, kingdoms go up in flames. It's crazy. When killing is customary, your kin go running for safe. You don't know her, but the story arc is the same. It also just sounds dope. I think the rhyming is not too crazy.
Yeah.
But I like how he's saying it, like long ass lines, again, very in pocket. Boatloads displayed, mostly young and afraid. Row across the straits. Again, he's rhyming in the beginning and the end. Boatloads. Row across.
Wait, what?
Like boat, row, boat, row. It counts. That's like an A, boat, row. Beginning of the line?
How is it rhyming?
Boat,
At the
row.
beginning of the line. Yes.
Boat, row.
Challenge.
Boat doesn't rhyme with row?
No.
It does, bro. It does.
How do they
boat. Bro, the syllable. The thing is, boat is 2 syllables, but yeah, it's boat.
What is a rhyme?
Boat, row.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Boat, row. But again, it's how he's saying it. So for me, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, bro. There is, because when you're saying it like boat, row. So I think it is rhyming in the beginning. Then young and afraid across the straits, again, not super complex rhyming. Coast Guard when in Spain, again, it's still boat, row, coast. You get it?
There's a scheme.
Those are rhyming, bro.
I'm done with it.
Those are rhyming.
It's words that they're about the same thing. It's not necessarily a rhyme. So if you're saying it's a rhyme, then it's a no. But
Yeah, the scheme. Yes, I get the scheme. Yes.
so it's not a point for the rhyme. It's a point for the scheme.
Yeah. I still do think they do.
No,
rhyme. I still do. Okay, it's fine. That's fine.
That's why I'm so confused.
Spain, I think they do. Okay, they're trying to ship you back. It's a false start to your fate. But Red Cross Lady knows the stoic display. What does Red Cross Lady knows the stoic display? I feel like it's more to that line.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it means. I maybe I'll figure it out some other time.
Okay, so
but yeah, I give this one.
So the stoic is someone who
they don't show emotion.
Well,
Yeah, somebody who doesn't show emotion.
also, a stoic is when someone sort of when you get in a ship and then you hide somewhere without paying so that you can get to a different country or whatever.
So not a stowaway.
Stowaway, yeah, but
the
this is
sound,
you know.
Okay.
So that's a homonym.
Cross is a big ass ship.
Yeah.
That does.
Yeah.
It's a stoic.
So
It's a stoic.
we might just go from 3.5 to 4 now. Right? It's really masking the trauma that more often is rape. Yeah. Let's say again. If this was written by someone else, I'd give it a 4, but it's written by Stogie.
So
I've seen way more better shit than this from him. So 3.5 because it's him. But if for someone else, I'd give it a 4. Yeah. You don't look convinced.
he thinks there's a
So how much do you give this?
Alright, but this is a 5, bro.
It's a 5.
This is a 5, bro.
Why is it a 5?
Subject
Back it
matter
up.
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
Like the choice of words.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He constructed it.
Yeah.
Throws you like you see it.
I agree. I still just think he has better stuff. I still think he has better stuff. I can whip up my phone when we're done and show you.
Yay.
This one I did not have it on the list until the conversation we had yesterday.
Hey, I wonder.
Let's see. This is the last one. There's a conversation we had yesterday.
I love the rap. I hate the game. So just give me the fortune and cancel the fame. Money, power, and fame is not the priority. Behind closed doors, we represent the minority. We pay homage or they praise in the garbage. People feed their egos, but forget about their soul. I also know this. Who's this? Love the rap. I hate the game. Just give me the fortune and cancel the fame. Money, power, and fame is not the priority. Behind closed doors, we represent the minority. Pay homage while they praise in the garbage. We pay homage, praise in the garbage. Who's this?
What are you looking at?
No, I didn't even know the answers of it. I love the rap. I hate the game. So just give me I know this, man. I know this, but okay, let's study it for what it is. I think it's always better when I don't know who it is.
Nah, let's what the.
I love the rap. I hate the game. So just give me the fortune and cancel the fame. Money, power, and fame is not the priority. Closer. Oh, this is ill skills. This is hip hop journalist. This is Una July. This is Una July. Shit. And Una's my friend. I love the rap. I hate the game. So just give me the fortune and cancel the fame. Money, power, and fame is not the priority. Behind closed doors. Yeah, so here's my thing, man. I you know, once in rap has like game, fame, priority, minority. I switch off, you know, which is why, you know, I was talking here with who was it? But yeah, I like it when shit is not predictable. Like game, fame. How many times have you heard that? Minority, priority. Also, for me, I just feel like, look, I mean, I understand it fits the subject of the song, but maybe in 2014, maybe this hasn't aged so well because I'm just like, you know, I've heard this so many times where niggas are like, you know, I don't like fame, blah, blah, blah. I really think it made sense, you know, representing the minority, you know, immortal technique shit, like, you know, just
Don't downplay immortality.
No, I'm talking. No, I like him, but I'm just. No, what I'm speaking about is that it's just something you've heard over so many times, you know, mainstream versus, you know, it's become such a cliche where I'm just like, oh, okay, you like the game, hate the fame, you know, niggas say shit like that, you know, represent the minority, you know, money, power, and fame is not the priority. It's just like, bruh, I'm not even sure if niggas mean that sometimes. Yo. It's like it's a not, maybe not him. So I give this a 2.5.
I give this Jimmy Flex 2.5.
This is Jimmy Flex. I'm giving this a 2.5.
Not Jimmy Flex.
And I've explained to you game, fame, priority, minority, and also just the sentiment. Super, I would say it's a cliche at this point. He might mean it, but at this point it's a cliche. So yeah, no, I love Jimmy Flex. One of the best to ever do it. I'm giving this a 2.5 over 5 though.
That's it. Yeah. Subs giving everyone.
That's me.
That's me.
No one.
Me. You know,
one promotion.
I'll give you my favorite verses.
It better be a 5.
Nasty C on Boyd's Was That.
Another song.
Let me read it out for you. Let me just read this whole verse, bro. That is a virgin set of car keys with the suburban little Barbie. Again, car keys, Barbie. Who could have thought? Unpredictable. With a new purse that's Ferragamo. Oops, I meant Ferragamo. Hold up. Activate guard mode. You know, Ferragamo, guard mode. Hold up. Never had a barcode. Hold up. Never broke guy code. Bro. A story of my life, bro. Came up out the sty, ho. They were smoking light bulbs.
What?
Fendi with it. So here,
what does that even mean? It's like
no. What does what mean? What does what mean? Everything
the
here.
Thing about the after the barcode. What's the line?
Hold up, never broke guy code.
No.
So he says
after that one.
A story of my life, bro. Came up out the sty, ho. They were smoking like a sty, like a pig sty where pigs sleep. I come from the dirt. They were smoking light bulbs. Drugs, Durban. Come on, bro. And this is you see, here's my thing. You know, it's like his verse on the AKA song. You're like, this guy, this is social commentary, but this guy is not preachy. The stuff where he's talking about, like, no, before it gets to the pepper sick pipe, where he's talking about, you know, I'm not in SA, you know, when I get stopped, I might get shot. But then he's like in SA, no SA, high five, where I'm like, this guy is saying that cops somewhere else, they will kill you. Here, they won't kill you, but it's still wrong. Because they're accepting bribes. Nobody calls him a socially conscious rapper, but he is. AKA was the same. AKA was the same, where you listen to the Touch My Blood song. You're like, what? Come on, bro. So here, this for me is a 5 over 5. This is a 5 over 5. I can get you another. Oh, you see how passionate I'm becoming.
And
and then, of course, I gotta give you some Stogie.
I know Stogie.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many of them. You know, verse on that Zagwe song.
Before paper. What? Before Mandela was
on money. Was folding leopards like it's origami. But you know, for me, there's a part where it's like, you know.
Like how do you open a song like that?
Yeah. But for me, I'll give you like really my favorite Stogie T like rapping. It's not a verse, it's like the whole song. Going Gorilla. Going Gorilla's crazy, bro. There's a part where it's like, where are the lyrics?
Oh, and what he did with Chinese man. Ooh. That whole concept was just fire. Like even the music video shoot.
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you something about that.
That thing was fire. Bro.
I was at the day after.
I've never seen that before. Like that's one take, right?
One take, yeah. But you know when I asked him, I was like, how did I have? I was like, nah, bro. All I did was just rap. They did everything. But the project. So you know what he told me about that project? We were like at Universal. But he was like, you know, bro, let me tell you something. He was like, because you're probably the only one who knows this project. Like
the Chinese Man project.
The journey. Just like that project. It's this rapper, passionate lyricist. He's standing. He's looking out. He's like, they don't want this shit anymore. Because after that, that's when he became Stogie T. He was like, he's just looking out. He's like, they don't want this shit anymore. So it's like looking in retrospect. But the concept is that he said he was reading about Ronins in Japan. So, you know, Ronins, you've watched that movie, The Samurai.
The samurai, yeah.
So Ronin is it's like a samurai, very skilled, but he's like, in the modern world, they are useless. That skill doesn't help you with shit because they used to use that skill to fight the West. But the Japanese are like, we are not at war with the West anymore. We're collaborating with the West. So a Ronin, you become an outcast with all the skill that you. Again, he was looking at himself. He was like, I do all this shit. They don't give a fuck. And instead of being bitter, I need to realize the world, the game is not there anymore. That's what that project is about.
You know, there's a part where is it? I think that's the first one where they're walking outside with like a bunch of people wearing in black, and then they're just dancing around him.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing is so fire.
Yeah.
Hold on, why was Youngster is not in that video?
Even Cooley is not. I just don't.
Was it just him?
I just don't think they could fly them.
Oh,
I just don't think they could fly them. Okay. But at least Youngster CPT, they rap them because those niggas are wearing t-shirts written Youngster CPT. You noticed when he's rapping.
Is it?
Yeah, you should watch it again. Yeah. Oh, The Journey. What's my favorite song on there? Yeah, so that's why there's a song called Past Time. Like, you are past your time. You know what I mean? That's the whole concept of
that 47 Ronin beat.
The 47 Ronin, whether do yeah. I mean, Chinese, man. Those guys are very good.
That beat is fire, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
it's simple,
crazy
but
project. Crazy project.
Fire.
I think I like the song where he's like with Cooley, where he's like, Soweto looks like Harlem. My barber is smart enough for Harvard. And then it's like gun charges, robbed us. I don't know of, but basically like guys who could jumpstart a car without half the parts in. You know, it's like basically niggas go to jail, but niggas are so smart. Crazy.
Bro, let's go back to the
Yeah, I don't know how you guys are gonna edit this shit. Hey, bro, don't get me started on Stogie. I'm that man's scholar, you know. Crazy.
Nah,
you know, I was
you cannot like hip hop
and not get it exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way I don't know if it's experimental or what, but he just does so much and so many different versions of things, man. It's like
this whole section is going to be called Homage to Stogie Chi.
Let's go back.
Nah, shout out to that man. You know, people have called me all names, fanboy. I'm like, call me all the names.
I understand it.
This guy is just so good.
I understand
It's just so good. You know, bro, I was listening to his upcoming project right now. Like, I've heard it. Like, he's made me listen to it.
You will never reach.
Stoke.
Telling you, right? Obviously, I can't tell you anything, but there's... Woo! Yeah. Oh, what a guy. Yeah, so, him, for me, Stogie, Nasty C. I'm talking about who I would say are 5 over 5 rappers in SA. Stogie T, Nasty C. You know, Ginger Trill. My only issue with Ginger Trill, I'll still give him a 5 though. I just wish he was more expressive. I just wish he was more expressive. I just want to know more what Ginger is thinking. So he hasn't given me much in terms of like his view of the world, which I think Stogie and Nasty have given me. But still, 5 over 5 Ginger Trill. You know, I also like Touchline. I think Touchline is crazy. I think Touchline, a Touchline verse will always have something that I'm with you.
You listened.
Yeah, no, you should check him out. He's very good. The pros for me. I'm more of a pro kid than proverb. And I know a lot of people take offense to that. Bro, don't make me quote proverb lines, please. please.
You're more of a pro?
I'm more of a pro kid than proverb line. And again, I think pro kid for me, he's expressed a lot. You know, also he's very diverse. He will tell you about the hood. He will tell you about himself, which, you know, I mean, I guess Pro grew up in Kimberley. But for me, I feel like guys like Pro, I think you see what Kanye did. I think this it's just more intense to be like, you know what, I'm not from the streets, but there's still a lot of intense stuff. I think Verb, in terms of subject matter, is a bit safe. That's my only issue with Verb. He's a bit safe, but also I think the lines have not aged well because of that era that it came from. But Verb for me, yeah. I mean, I think in terms of like relationships, oh yeah, that man goes in.
Yeah.
Verb, when he writes a love song, like you listen to Verb's albums, it's crazy to me. You're like, okay, he was meeting the wife here. Would you marry me? We can live. And then you're like, second one, now tell me. You're like, oh, okay. And then, you know, like Red Tape, it's really, really like, you're like, wow, he's so hostile towards this wife. You're like, shit is. So I like that about him. But yeah, for me, I think, yeah, I just think that style of punchlines, I think time has not been kind on it. Like it's like similes. He uses a lot of similes, you know, where I'm like, I think even Pro, I think him, but those who came after him, not so much. It's like when Jay-Z says with the whole not writing thing, he says, I birthed a whole generation of bad writers because people were trying to be like him, but they were not doing it like him. So even Pro, you know, like this whole Njenge, whatever punchlines, people overdid it, that it became a cliche. But when he did it, he was doing it the right way, the right amount, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, we don't need another photocopy of him. Like it's like a knockoff, like a cheaper version. You're like, you're not doing it right. So him, but the guys he influenced, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
That's me about.
One song where you think like has the craziest wordplay ever in SA.
Going Gorilla by Stoggy T.
Over first, second, and third by Prover.
So again, it's like another level of wordplay. Like, let me read it out for you.
First, second, and third by Prover. Is a song better than that?
It is. Let me tell you. So, you know, when people talk, yeah. So let me tell you this, bro. I'm not the biggest Proverb fan. And a lot of people take offense to that. Kill me, but let me check.
Do you know the song I'm talking about?
I know it first. I came through it. I like the manuscript. But listen to this. Going Gorilla.
Yeah.
We grew up on Biko. When leaders in prison. We grew up on Biko when leaders in prison on islands. Now we visit the beach and my people are treated like primates. Dope. This is where it starts. Trying to dribble the challenge. My cousin not kicking the habit. Okay. Our daily fixture with mixture is poverty and violence. They flag our dreams and wishes killed by the linesmen. They gatekeepers at the widest and they sniffing the lines, man. Our team is full of strikers marching and I'm sick of the riots.
Yams versus Bellcat. Who you with?
Yams.
Yeah, actually.
Yams. I mean, Yams. Battlecat had like a very aggressive sound. Yams was on the J Dilla.
Yeah.
Yams, easy.
Yeah.
Yams. Shout out to Battlecat, but Yams, what?
For sure. I know. We're the same with that one.
Yams.
When I was trying to make beats, that was like my
Yams.
Yeah.
Yams for sure.
I was really striving to become like him. So, bro, like you've done your MTV raps, you've done conversations for
the Hennessy thing,
for the Hennessy thing.
Yeah.
What is there any other work that you've done on for TV that I might have not mentioned? Something that you're really proud of?
I'd say the Pop Goes Freedom show. Pop Goes Freedom, Zanzi Magic. I think also just then the working environment there was like the best ever. You know, we were struggling to come up with the concepts and, you know, they were like, let's go to George, the mountains and just away from the city and think. For me, I was like, oh, these people understand creativity. They understand creating. You know, then we sat there, we came up with the thing. Also just a really, really wonderful bunch of people. Root Boy, shout out to that. Those are my brothers for life now. Paul, oof. the guy in charge, the director. My goodness, what a great guy. But actually, everybody, but him specifically, I found a big brother in him. So that, but also the work, again, it was like a thing of like having a long list of things and, doing this thing that in writing is called killing your darlings, where it's like a dope song, but we need a list of 20 songs. So we're really going to cut a lot of stuff out, that exercise, painful, but also it was very beautiful, and also I like the fact that, in general, with a lot of my writing, not all of it, but a lot of it, as much as it's about music, it's also about life. It's about politics, the life, the atmosphere around that artist or around that scene, really for me, music is a way of talking about society without necessarily talking about society, because of the things that the people are saying and the environments that they're in. So for me, it was like every time we're talking about the songs, but we're talking about the people, the politics, what was happening when the song came out, you look at a song like Busiswa, Prince KB and Busiswa, is it Manomo? Yeah. You're like, this is a feminist song, nobody's really thinking about it, or a song like, Moonchild, the sexual stuff. You're like, it was 2016, 2017. You remember on Twitter, how is life, this, that, and that. She was coming from that perspective, that woke Twitter, that song came from there, So it was very, very interesting to not just look at the songs, but look at what was happening around when the songs were being made. So I enjoyed that project a lot, but also the interviews. Like as I was telling you earlier, interviewed Booga Love. Bro, I spoke to JR. He was telling me crazy stories about Burna Boy and when he was still here in 2014, around that time, he was struggling, was frustrated. Burna Boy was frustrated. He went to a studio and PH was recording MI and he was like, nah, bro, I'm recording MI. Can't record you right now. And he basically turned Burna Boy away. Look, he actually went back and found him, but the idea was like, nah, bruh, MI, my favorite rapper on the continent. Yeah. I can't. But also just to show you what time can do. And Burna now is the guy, and even PH is like, yeah, we were having conversations with him and he was telling me that I'm going to be the biggest. And it was like, the album is called I Told Them. Like, I told them. So, him interviewed, Booga Love, telling us, stories about, just who's patagahle in the game. And he was like, whenever I see a young guy blowing up, I'm happy, but I'm sad. Because I'm like, you don't know what's about to happen to you.
Bittersweet moment.
You know what I mean? He was like, you don't know what's about to happen to you. You're about to get fucked up by yourself, by your success. So we're having conversations like those, and people are like, the theories, like I usually talk to my elder brothers, they were like, yo, yes, Mzansi, we fucked up ngokuthi nina nje after 94, celebrate, quiet dog, and we had a lot to do. And Kabelo, I asked him that, he was like, fuck, what were we supposed to do? It was the right reaction to coming out of apartheid and having the first Black president democratically elected. Yes, maybe other things were done right, but we were in the moment. That's what we were supposed to do. If we're not celebrating that, lots and lots of stuff, who else interviewed Mkhabela for that show? Mkhabela knows South African music like back of his hand. Like going through songs like, oh, Shikana, oh, this song is that. Like he knows everything, everyone. Like he really knows everything. JR was like, you guys, this fucking list of yours doesn't have my Willis. I'm like, okay, I mean, my Willis. But again, it was like, bro, we could only have 20 songs. Very, very interesting, went to Durban. It was just, yeah, Mawilis. I like, but yeah, that's the thing. If you're gonna have 20 songs, we had him on the long list. But also we're like, what was the impact, overall impact? That's pop music, popular music. You're really looking at the biggest songs. That's what pop music is, Again, it was very just thought-provoking to actually just think about what is pop music in a South African context.
Sure.
Because we had some Maskandi songs, but we're like, is that really pop? I mean, now we have a Maskandi song on Kozi FM topping the charts, and people are like, no, Funiplani. Is it popular music? Is Maskandi popular music? And so we're having like those conversations, like those. It was dope, man. It was dope. And then, look, I like every show that I've been part of. And, MTN Pulse Virals, it was interesting in that it was like reality TV. I'd never done reality TV, I was like, but you also just like, damn, there's a lot of, I want to say acting, but reenacting reality TV. Like, okay, guys, we have to walk in again, that kind of thing. Look, I was once interviewed, and they kind of like wanted to have like cutaways, like when I was young, and they're like, oh yeah, so you are here for an interview, so walk in. And then walk in again because we want the other angle. It's not like the stuff is not happening, but to get the angles, it's like acting. It's like a movie. So very, very interesting format. It was like also just a learning curve, Gucci, with reality TV, you kind of, if it's happened, it's happened. You can't ask people to do it again. There were other things where also you're thinking about the amount of planning that's supposed to go into something like that, because there was a time the camera guys were complaining. They're like, you didn't tell us that there were going to be 10 people here. We don't have a lens that's wide enough right now. Things like those, I mean, stuff that when you're watching, you're like, you're cringing because you know what you were going for, but you didn't really succeed in it. So it was very interesting. And also just, it's a very social media based show, looking at how people are reacting, how you do the diaries. Very, very interesting. So yeah, man. But I would just like to say, your MTV Raps, shout outs to the guy. That was my first TV job. And again, he found me, he searched for me, and he hit me up. Batanda Applestein, that's the surname. Take Zito. Shout out to that guy. He's the guy who I'd never done anything on TV. But again, as I was saying, if you are the subject, sometimes people even overlook your skill because you're the right guy for the job. It was like a show on South African hip hop. Who but him to do it? I remember like some of the writing, we're also trying to work on another show, me and him, but it ended up working out. He's very patient with my writing for TV because he knows I don't come from that space, but he likes the insights and the knowledge that I come with. You know what I mean? And that's also how I approach it, because also even almost every job that I've gotten, that's why I've never actually applied for a job. I've applied for a job, but I never got it. But every job that I've gotten, I didn't apply for it. They came to me. Hype came to me. Slikour came. Okay, Africa, everybody.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
even
fine.
Live Mag, I was an intern. There was like a job opening. They wanted to put it out there, and then some of the staff members, they're like, just give it to him. He's here, is the perfect guy. So, but anyway, and for me, I also approach things the same. Now as an editor, you're looking for writers. I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to be out there and be like, yo, I put you on. I went to this guy based purely on his tweets. I was like, your shit, come, right? Let's get you paid. He's like one of the best out right now. He was writing all along, but I didn't know. I didn't read anything that he had written. He hadn't shared anything. But I was just like, your shit, An old journalist told me, he was like, writing is about ideas. He was like, bad writing can be edited. But if you don't have ideas, there is no bad writing to even fix.
Sure.
But so for me, I always look at people who have ideas, and ideas come from knowing so much about the subject. If you know so much about music, so where I'm like, let's write about these Nigerian amapiano, whatever, that can come from you being tapped in. You can be the greatest writer there is. I can give you that article. You wouldn't do it as much justice as the guy who lives this thing every day. You know what I mean? Like, I can, you saw how I was about hip hop right now. I was like, I was gleaming, I was beaming, that's, right. You want that fire from a writer. So shout out to Take Zito for me. I got that from him. That's just my approach to getting writers whenever I need to get writers or people to do a certain kind of work. Yeah.
What I was going to ask, where, you're kind of touching on the not so glamorous side of the work, right? So I guess I'm curious about what kind of fatigue do you encounter, like, doing this kind of work?
Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Look, I would say writing every day, if you are employed as a staff writer, which is what I was at OK Africa and at Live Mag, the craft can suffer. The craft can suffer because it's like, look, I've never really had like a number of articles that's needed from you, but there's kind of like an expectation. You can't be like, oh, this week you didn't write anything. That's unacceptable. So sometimes, you put stuff out there and you're like, I'm not entirely happy with this. But, that's where it becomes a job, where it's like, you are not you might think you're an artist, but you're not an artist like that. Like, an artist can never put out half-baked work. But you can. As a writer, you do. There are some stuff that I've put out there. I was like, shit, I wish I had had more time with this article. Or sometimes even with a picture, it just taken in the dark, and I just want it to still be dark, but now it's a bit too dark. I'm like, now it's out there. I'm like, yo, I wish I had just made it. You should understand this. So I would say it's things like those. But yeah, it's it becomes like it really at some point it can become like a whole assembly line, like in a factory where you're like, yo, I need to churn this out. I did this interview, I need to write this article and put it out. So that's like some of the work that you're not the most proud of. There's a lot of that. There's like a lot of that. And for me personally, I'm not like super, super particular about stuff that I put out there. I know that the stuff that you do because you have to, but the stuff where you're like, this, I love this, that's the stuff that I'll share on social media. But some stuff, some people don't even know I did it, just doing it as like, hey, this is for the bills. This is, but what kind of fatigue? We're having year-end fatigue just now. I'm trying to think where it comes from. It's the amount of work that you have to do. I was talking to one of my colleagues. They were like, we do such fulfilling work here, but we end up not enjoying it because you're working on 3 big projects at the same time.
Yeah.
So that in you, and it's like when you're a freelancer, like you have like deadlines on the same day, and you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. I'm a scatterbrain, but I get it done. So that's the kind of fatigue you get. It's just too much work. Media is too much work, especially if you're gonna make serious money from it. So,
yeah, you've worked on TV. You then started doing music videos with
motion.
Yeah. So, first of all, how did that come about?
I'd forgotten about that part of my life, actually. Motion and our friends. When I met him, I was in UCT. He was studying sound at the Cape Audio, one of those colleges. He was studying sound, but I'm not sure after how many years he decided that he wants to do film. Yeah, maybe that's why we were friends, because do this and you decide that you want to do that. We didn't even have that conversation, but now I'm realizing it as I tell the story. So he did film. So he was just like doing videos. So again, wanted to be involved in that. I was rapping, so I was like, shoot music videos type shit. I think the first video he shot was my which, you know, we removed all that shit on YouTube when we made better shit. We're like, bruh, this doesn't belong to, it's part of the story, but
Yeah.
we removed it from YouTube. I don't even have it anywhere anymore. Yeah, and you know, that video we fought because he had this other producer. I thought he made me look weird. I didn't even want it to go out, you know. But he ended up putting it out. You know, when he told the story, I was like, yo, Sabza and I thought we'd never ever speak again after that. But, you know, we spoke. It was like water under the bridge. I think, you know, strengthened the relationship. But when you really, really like wanted to become the guy, you know, so we're like shooting for, you know, for Cape Town Cats. And I was always just there, you know, taking behind the scenes photos. It's just a very, very interesting thing that I'd never done before. And I didn't realize that he wanted us to partner up until, you know, even the way he announced that we were gonna partner up, he didn't say it to me. We were like doing he was doing one of his workshops and he was like, yeah, Sabza and I are gonna start a business. I was like, nigga, I didn't know that. But I was like, makes sense.
Those workshops were fire, but
yeah, they were dope. You know, so even there, just helping organize that. Look, it was mostly him, but you know, just helping out here.
And you realize when I have a couple.
Yeah, and then he said that, and I was like, oh, I'm keen, bro. I'm keen. Yeah, so you know, I think I remember there's a lens. We bought a lens, you know. We went half. I still have the lens now. We bought an iMac. I bought that, you know, used it for a few videos. So it was like, okay. And then I remember there was a time he called me, like, yo, bro, send me your ID number, registering a company.
Yeah.
You know, Motion being that guy, just a go-getter. So it was just moving in that direction. So yeah. And then I was like, yo, bro, yeah, this thing, we're doing it. So what am I going to do? Is like, you're going to be the producer. I was like, okay. What does a producer do? Like, Google and see what a producer is like. Oh, a producer does this, you know. So I think the first video that we really did officially together was the celebrity video by Reason. Yeah, you know, was really dope. Yeah, I went shot in at the beach in Kylie. You know, spent like a few days with Reason. Was doing an interview, just following him around. You know, he was driving like a Wrangler. Memories. So yeah, we did that, and then we did a few other videos. Yeah, and then you know he who moved to Joburg? We actually kind of like moved around at the same time because I remember when we were moving up, and yeah, I slept at his place because I didn't have furniture. Yeah, so we kind of like moved to Joburg around the same time. But yeah, so we shot like Stogie T, Pretty Flowers, MT, J Smash and MT, Never Fall.
Which one, for the videos that you remember, which ones do you feel like we did justice here?
All of them, bruh. All of the stuff that we did. But my favorite one is Pretty Flowers. I actually went and looked at it again because there's my favorite scene there where J Molly, what are those bombs called, Gunch? Thing where it's like a powder.
Smoke bombs.
Yeah, smoke bomb where, yeah, it basically kills Stogie and Mags and Questa. You know, it's like he brings the thing on the table, like it's wood, and then they open and the thing explodes. It's crazy because when you're shooting it there, really, they were coughing for real. That thing fucked them up for real.
Because it was closed space.
Yeah, it was a closed space, like almost, smaller than this room even,
Hectic.
And they were like,
and a smoke bomb is
you know, and then now you're looking at it in slow motion. I'm like, wow. Just for that scene, we did something. I liked it, you know, also just the whole Last Supper thing. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. But, you know, he did other stuff where I was not involved because there was a time we ended up not working together.
Yeah.
I think I like the Love and War where he had about Mandisi and what's that theater thing, Gonje? But it's like, they had like a theater company.
The one in Ligamandis.
Yeah, Kasi, is it Kasi, ARC, something? I don't know what it is. Yeah. I was like, you know, this is serious shit, bro. Like, you're getting theater, it was just, I was like, yeah, this guy is serious. Yeah. But, and the question, I know, of course, we headed with this.
No,
like,
no.
what, yeah.
So how was it like, before we get to that question,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
was it like working with him? Because
Yeah.
Penel is always the guy who's like, I feel like he's always on the fast lane. Like,
It's crazy.
That
It's crazy.
shit,
Yeah, it's crazy
quick.
because in the very, very beginning, he used to be so frustrated. He was a panic mechanic, like people, fetching people and they're not on time and it's just frustrated. Like,
yeah.
yo, bruh, time is. And then the other moments, like we're just waiting for this guy and he was taking forever. And Motion and I were just like sitting in the car chatting. And I'm like, bruh, what's happening to you? You're not panicking today? He was like, nah, nigga. I realized that shit was going to kill me because people are just fucking late and I'm the one who's punctual. Motion, very, very lovely guy. Like,
Yeah.
and just very ambitious. Like, I think again, maybe the reason we became friends is because we had the same level of ambition. I would say him more than me. Like, he was actually more ambitious than me, actually. Like, he was, this is stuff he was talking about, I want to go to LA, want to do this, bro, want to charge this much for videos. I remember there was this treatment. We wanted to do a video for this other hip hop DJ and he sent me the treatment. I was like, bro, they're soldiers? What? He was like, oh, if you want to charge 500K for a video, this is the kind of shit you're supposed to be doing. And I'm sitting there being like, damn, bruh, this guy. Also, just with the videos that most of the videos we didn't even make money because we almost used all the budget. Sometimes we went over budget,
Because
we want the shit to look how we wanted it to be. I got that from him. Like a lot of projects that I did, I did we didn't talk about this, but yeah, I did like this podcast on Stogie T's discography. You remember that? That thing, I lost money more than make money. Me and Tidi. So, like we paid for the PR. I paid for a whole lot of stuff, like the graphic design. I went to my graphic designer friend, like professional, that girl, and charged me what her fee. But yeah, I got that from Motion to be like, you create the product, hopefully you make money from it. And, I had the luxury of having a job and other jobs. For him, it was his only thing. So Motion really, really inspired me a lot. Just how ambitious he was and how dedicated he was to the craft. I was telling you earlier, there was a time we slept at CPT, like a trashed res. There wasn't even like a lock on the door. It was at night. It was dangerous. We had equipment there. But it's like we're doing this thing. You know what I mean? So really, really, that's what I took from him. You go hard.
What is a video producer? Your role, you were a producer, right, for the music videos. What do you do?
I would say the easiest answer is you make sure that everything that is needed is there. Yeah, you make sure that people are there. That people are there on time. So the people, equipment used to do that. But yeah, everybody is there and everything that is needed is there. If it's food is there. You really just like in charge of the set.
Smoke bombs.
Yeah.
Look, that was more of an equipment thing. So it was a very technical thing. So he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a while, you guys seem to be like on something.
Yeah.
You really were building up to something.
Yeah.
Maybe building is not the right word because
we're doing.
You were there, and then all of a sudden, nothing.
Yeah.
It's like whatever good relationship you guys had.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I don't know, to be quite honest with you, I hope this doesn't feel like gossip or whatever, controversy, but yeah, I would just say, I don't want to point fingers, but I would just say maybe we grew apart. But growing apart, people grow apart, you can tell that it's like a gradual process. It wasn't gradual for us. Really, we went from, we were building, we conquering the world, we're taking over to My friend is I just can't get a hold of him. Or when I get a hold of him, it's like it just didn't feel the same. I really don't know, because for the longest time I was just wondering. I was like, maybe it's something I said, my friend. Maybe it's to this day I'm still having those conversations in my head. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I think also he just went through a lot. I think he also just changed a lot because, and then he was like rapping, and I'm not sure if there was space for me in all that. We're even doing Boys Indie, but also there was the stuff that was happening with one of the artists, Lura, where I was like, hey, I'm not sure about that. We were not even talking about that at that point because we were not.
So Boys Indie was also part of the company.
It was our thing. Yeah, it was our thing. But look, it was his thing that he wanted me to be a part of. I never really did much because I was just starting to understand. So what do we want? Because we were talking, brother. Yeah, if Ambitious and them can do it, why can't we do it? We have such a talented artist like Lura. I was a fan of Lura before Boys Indie. I was at Headwarmers. One of the guys was like, yo. For me, it was like Lura was like, yo. One of the guys was like, he's gone the Nasty C direction, and it was like a tricky, crazy time in that era because the Spaza guys still wanted Cape Town hip hop to be very Spaza, but you were like the trap niggas, and Lura was like especially from like the black township side, because Youngster had already done that, but Lura was that guy. So yeah, I was very, very excited to be a part of it and just see what I can do in a label perspective. I hadn't done much for Boys Indie, to be honest with you, but it was definitely going to be our thing. But a lot of strange things happened, and I would say I lost my friend and I lost my business partner. Some people lose their friend and maybe become business partners, or lose that business partner but keep their friend. I lost both, and I still have questions. Yeah, Motion, if you see this, hit my line, bro. Let's. Yeah, pretty much, because, I don't know. There was a time I sent him a WhatsApp text and it was one tick, but I was like, did this guy block me or did he change his number and not tell me? Where I was like, we were way too close for him to change his number and not let me know. So that in itself was just like a sign to be like, what is happening? Or maybe Sis would be like, yo, bruh, Motion lost his phone. We were those kinds of friends. Like, it's not a thing where he can be like, bruh, I lost my phone. I'm like, you should have told me because of how close we were. But really, I have more questions than answers when it comes to this.
Yeah, and I think I appreciate that we're getting a textured story from your life, right? Like, and I think this is something you mentioned.
The many L's.
Yeah, like we've spoken so much about the crazy wins and the wins that you're continuing to collect, but there's also been major L's. But I think another kind of W to slip in is, and you briefly mentioned this when you started talking about your relationship with Motion, is just going back to studies, both of you being studying in this direction, going in this direction. And all the way from earlier in the interview where your family was kind of like, bro, engineering is the light. And then our engineer is moving away from the light. So how did your family eventually respond to the direction that you were taking with your life?
It was crazy in the beginning. It was, again, I understand them. You don't just quit, especially in a university that people dream of going to. I dreamt of going there. So when I got excluded, it was tough because I had nothing. Really, I had nothing. It was like, bro, we gave you an opportunity to be great, and when I decided to be a smart ass, it was kind of like, there was a time where my brother was like, bro, you made adult decisions. You're gonna have to deal with the consequences. So there was a bit of friction. Really, there was a bit of friction there. But again, when they saw what it is that I wanted to do, and small wins here and there, like, you look at this article on here, look at this on there. It's like, okay, maybe this thing is gonna work. And and I got my first job. I remember going to my brother, I'm like, yo, they're gonna pay me 5,000 rand.
Yay!
And this is a person. There was a time I had to dodge guards in the train. to be like, yo, you're getting a salary, right? 5K is a lot from zero.
Yep.
And also I wasn't paying rent. It was like, yo, I can buy myself sneakers. But also I can buy myself a camera. I can get myself to the places I want to go to. I can also send my mother 500 rand.
Sure.
So it really just became like, okay, there's something here. So, but even in that journey, my family was very supportive. Once I had made it clear what it is I wanted to do, one of my brothers was like, tell us what it is exactly that we want to do. We know people. Maybe we can help you get there faster. My mother, I told you that your mother gave me a scarf ticket to some festival because she was like, I don't have money to give you to buy food there, but they were supportive.
We shout out to them, like, yo guys.
Yeah. I think, but also I was just lucky that my shit didn't take as long as other people.
Right.
Because, I was excluded 2012, 2013, but around in like a year's time, I was already like on the money to be like, oh shit, something is brewing here. So I don't know if it had taken 5 years, if they would have been that patient.
So
I've seen some families where the family's so supportive, but they just go tired. They're like, yo, bruh, we've been pumping money into this thing of yours. You want to be a DJ, but it's not working out. So I think for me, I was lucky that I was not emerging for too long.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shout out Universe.
Hey, bruh. Yeah.
Oh, last question.
Last question. Yes, on a very, very light note, right? So, Gauteng is where it's at.
Yeah.
Left us.
Yeah.
To go pursue inner pastures there.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, because it's such a hub, not just economically, but for the culture, for our history as a people, for our art. So, Simo and I are coming up to Gauteng, and we're like, Sabza, what are the places we need to go?
You need a place to stay? No. No. What are the places? What are the places?
This guy is outright denying us. Oh no.
So what are the places?
What places would you recommend as like the sites where we can really get to know our culture, get to know our art? And not like your typical, please, not Red Bus tour. Not Villa.
Oh, you mean as in like what? Moving there or touring?
Touring. Yeah, so like an itinerary. Like, what are you?
Go to the SA Hip Hop Museum.
Yeah.
Actually, no, the SA Hip Hop Museum is also in Museum Africa. That's actually a very interesting museum. I've walked, because when you're walking into the museum, you walk into the museum first. There's like a lot of interesting stuff there. So I would say, but yeah, culture. I'd say the Hip Hop Museum is a dope spot. But I would say more than it's not necessarily like I'm not saying because the Hip Hop Museum I contributed to it, but it's like it's not necessarily like places. It's I would say just go to events.
Yeah, tell us.
So I'd say somebody. This is a very cliche answer, but Bram. Bram, there's a lot happening in Bram. There's some, the Swank shop is there. A lot of activations like shows happen. But yeah, just go to the shows or wherever people are hosting stuff, Somebody back in the days could have said Maboneng, but Maboneng is a group spot now. No, they don't have art galleries like that.
Sure.
So I would just say, go to shows. A guy who used to, I almost mentioned his name, I shouldn't do that. He came to Cape Town. I was like, yo, bruh, please invite me to shows. I'm like, bro, don't you see posters? See a poster and go, So there are some dope venues. There's like always stuff happening at Untitled Basement, especially like the jazz stuff. There are places in Melville. You'll see shows there, but yeah, Bram.
Yeah.
But there's also like a lot of stuff that happens in the north, like Rosebank. Not Fourways necessarily, but I would say like Rosebank, Sandton. Like a lot of, especially like the high end, like corporate stuff. The brands involved. There's a lot of stuff that happens there. So yeah, it's really just a matter of going everywhere. Zone 6, they have like dope events there. It's not really like a place where like you'll find everything. Stuff is happening everywhere. And the more you go, the more you realize how it works, the more in tune you become. I'm not sure if that answers the question.
No, I really love that. Like it's kind of a contrast between culture standing still and culture in motion. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's
actually, interesting enough, if I were to ask you that question, let's say not me and someone as an outsider, and I ask you that question about Cape Town, what would you say?
Yeah. That one is for this one over here.
Yeah.
Like I am so out of touch with the culture. Yeah.
Selective Live. Any day.
So you see that's
Choose a day. Selective Live is always popping.
Beat bangers.
With beat. You see shows like that.
Yeah.
There's
So
always
Selective Live is a venue.
Selective Live is a venue, but then they have a week of just different things happening.
Right.
Be it
Music,
poetry,
comedy.
comedy, the Beat Bangers thing.
Yeah.
So the Beat Bangers thing is more of a special, like every 2 months or whatever. So
And they have the boom bap.
that's the Beat Bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they would have, for example, Tuesdays are for open mics. Doesn't matter what you do as long as it involves a microphone. Kind of a thing, Makers Landing is also, but for if you have food,
Yeah, that's
kind of a thing.
kind of
So you can just go there and then just see what's happening. Sometimes they even have like just people playing randomly somewhere, kind of a thing. So you're busy getting your gourmet ice cream, watching people play.
Yeah.
Obs.
Lower me.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's always something because Cafe Ganesh is there. I forgot the club, but close to Cafe Ganesh is there, So there's and of course, used to be Lifestyle in Kailicha. So there's a couple of places. It's not popping as it used to when you were still around, but at least there's still a few places here and there. I know there's people doing stuff in Hout Bay. On Facebook, her name is Natasha Tafari, I think, if I'm not mistaken. She's doing a lot of stuff in Hout Bay. You know what I mean? So
Is that the same lady who used to manage Ukani? Something?
might be, but she's been part of the culture since whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's quite a few things happening around, but and of course, First Thursdays. Because First Thursdays again is where you could just walk around and just see stuff.
They trying First Thursdays in Joburg, Rosebank. I've never attended it. I don't know. I really don't know because there's like a lot of galleries there. Should actually check it out. Because the Cape Town is crazy.
Yeah.
When Red Bull Studios was still open, First Thursday, they would have very interesting stuff. Red Bull Studios, that was a moment in history. I know the stuff they recorded there. I remember Youngster CPT, Do Me. That song was recorded there. Christian Tiger School. I think Camo recorded this EP there. Uno July 24-hour project. My goodness, I haven't even
Red Bull.
this.
How does Red Bull make money? Red Bull
I
does a lot
always
of-
wondered. I was like, you
Red Bull
guys
does a
make
lot of
money
wild shit
from
we like.
selling those energy drinks. I don't know.
If anyone works for Red Bull and is like knows the behind the scenes, come through, please. We need to. Red Bull makes a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, but Red Bull's kind of like pulled out of music. I mean, they do the culture clash thing, which is crazy. But they closed down the studio. They used to have like Red Bull. There used to be a website, Red Bull, where we used to write for them. I remember I used to contribute to Red Bull, like interview artists, all that. That went down. Yeah, but Red Bull.
Like if you look at the BMX scene, they'll just have a dude riding somewhere in some desert.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, how do you monetize this?
Yeah, they do.
And they put it on Red Bull TV.
Yeah.
With no ads.
Yeah.
I'm like,
now they do a lot of like those extreme sports. Niggas, what's this, diving? Yeah, now they have presence. But, that's what people say. They're like, a lot of brands, they don't necessarily sell the product, but they sell a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't know how that helps with the money, to be honest.
it's pretty expensive.
They do. They have a lot of money.
Yeah. Anyway, Sabel, bro, thank
Yo.
you for doing this. Sabs was on vacation, by the way. You can only imagine what a head of content, the kind of vacations they go to.
My goodness.
So I was like, yo, bro. He was like,
Don't call it vacation.
cut
End
my
of the
vacation
year,
short.
bro.
and then come to Cape Town, and then
Yeah.
I appreciate that, bro.
Nah, thank you guys. Yeah, like, this is actually crazy when you guys are like, you're gonna fly me down here. I was like, wow, that still happens. That doesn't happen anymore, bro.
Sure.
Like a lot of stuff, you tell them you're in another city, it ends up not happening, or they're like, yeah, find a way to get yourself out there, which ends up not happening itself. It's like, boy, you want me there in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I wasn't planning for this. So shout outs to you guys, bro. Like, this is quite rare, and I feel very important and very appreciated.
As you should, man. As you should. Take your damn
Thank you so
flowers.
Head of content.
And
all I'm saying.
very special that it happens in Cape Town, a place that means a lot to me. I'm not from here, but Cape Town really is home. I want to sound like a rapper and say my
It's your
second home,
birthplace,
but it's
bro.
my home in terms of like, it's where I started this whole thing that I'm doing.
You
I
should
couldn't
have
have.
yesterday when we were driving around.
Oh, sentiment.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I feel like if only we had like a documentary crew. It's just like,
I get it.
Yeah.
like, wait, Purple Tech used to be there.
Yeah, Zula, all those
This guy is like a
places.
culture scorner, like I really
Yeah.
But yeah, man, yeah, I really appreciate
Nah,
it.
thank you so much.
Yeah, this was meant to be 1 hour, but we'll see.
Hey, guys. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. See you on the next one.
Guys, this is pace. It's almost 3.